So Leicester 23rd in the table, a point off safety. Earlier on, Blackburn and Portsmouth played out a 1-1 draw, which in some ways helps Leicester out because they know that they're only moved a point further ahead from where they were before. But from what you've seen of Leicester this season, Perry, do you think there is that realistic thought that they could go down?
Yeah, very much so. I know Gary Rowett was saying there that, you know, he's been really, really pleased with the way that they've reacted, you know, from the defeat against Norwich, that the attitude's been good in training, you know, they've worked really hard. But words are easy, you know. Well, unless you're FR David, they don't come easy, but they are very easy because... What? Because training, there's no pressure. You know, you can say, yeah, I'm being very professional. It's when you get into these tough games, and it is going to be tough here for Leicester, you want your senior players to take responsibility. And I know I've been quite critical of Winks and Skip in midfield because I think, you know, they sort of are too safe, they play sideways, but they're very experienced, and what you want is players like those two to get themselves on the ball and try and calm this Portman Road crowd down. And Gary Rowett, I always say that teams mirror managers. He hasn't been there long enough, obviously, to implement his whole philosophy, but he was a no-nonsense defender, Gary Rowett, where he put everything on the line, he put everything out there. That's what he'll be expecting from his Leicester players today. And even if he's not really believing it, he's got to make the Leicester players believe it. You know, he's got to make the Leicester players think, yep, we can get ourselves out of this, even if he's having his doubts. He's got to be strong, he's got to show the right aura, and to be fair to him, in the 3 games that they've had, I actually think he's done that.
In the last 3 seasons that they have faced each other, Leicester have had the measure of Ipswich. Is that something that could be a factor in this as well? They beat them earlier on in the season 3-1 at home, so knowing that you can get the better of them, is that a huge indicator, a huge positive step that Gary Rowett can look at and say, look, you've done this, you've been there, you can do this?
Yeah, I think they're looking at their first league double over Ipswich since 2013-14. That was under Nigel Pearson when they actually won the championship. And they've only been beaten once in the last 12 league games, so against Ipswich. So as you say there, it might have a little psychological effect, but we can give them all the stats and figures and how much you believe them. When John Busby, the referee, when he blows that whistle, as a player, you're on your own. It's up to you to do your job. It's up to you to make sure when you come off the pitch that you can look at yourself and say that you've left everything out there. And Leicester players as a whole haven't been doing that at all this season.
You're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app. That's from 11 a.m, 18 and over. Fees apply to delivery orders, subject to availability, and price may vary. Don't forget, Talksport will keep you right across all the football and the cricket this weekend. Right now, Game Day Live is over on Talksport with Adrian Durham, taking you around the grounds in all the 3 o'clock kickoffs. But here on Talksport 2, let's take you straight to Portman Road then for Ipswich against Leicester in the company of former Arsenal and Colchester winger Perry Groves and your commentator Ian Danter.
Thank you kindly, Natalie, and a very good afternoon to you, wherever and however you're listening to TalkSport 2. Coming to you live from an expectant Portman Road. I was here on Tuesday evening on your home with the EFL to see a stunning Azor Matasiwa strike, his first ever goal for Ipswich, earn the Suffolk club a narrow win of a whole city. That means if 3 points come their way again today, they will go second in the championship table for 24 hours at least before Middlesbrough, currently above them in second, go to QPR tomorrow. Remember, Millwall have gone third after that win we just brought you at Hull here on TalkSport 2. Standing in the way of all of that are a side who, like Ipswich, were relegated from the Premier League in May. Leicester City are getting increasingly desperate at the other end of the table, still waiting for a win under the new management of Gary Rowett. But even just a point here could take the Foxes out of the bottom 3, pending what West Brom, the side directly above them, do at Sheffield United this afternoon. Oxford did themselves a big favour by winning at Preston. Again, you heard that last night on TalkSport 2, live and exclusive. Team news. Well, Ipswich made it 3 successive wins with the 3 points they got over Hull in midweek. They made 5 changes for that game. Kieran McKenna's made those 5 changes back in reverse. So Christian Walton in goal, Darnell Furlong, Dara O'Shea, Cedric Kipre and Leif Davis the back 4. Azor Matasiwa and Dan Neil the holding midfielders. Wes Burns, Marcelinho Nunez and Anis Mehmeti behind Ivan Azon in attack. For Leicester, well, rumours abounded on the fans' message boards this week that Rowett might switch to 3 centre-halves, might bring back Jordan James. Well, those rumours have been shown to be false. It's still 4-2-3-1, and Jordan James is not being risked from the start, having only just come back from injury. The 2 changes made see Bobby Decordova-Reid come in for Divine Mukasa, the Man City loanee, and Patson Daka preferred to Jordan Ayew in attack. So it's Jakub Stolarczyk in goal, Ricardo Pereira, Callum Coley, Ben Nelson, Luke Thomas in the Leicester back 4, Harry Winks and Oliver Skipp holding, then Abdul Fatawu, Bobby Decordova-Reid and Steffi Mavadini behind Patson Daka in attack. Said it before and I'll say it again, the vantage point that TalkSport 2 has here at Portman Road is one of the best anywhere in English football for us to bring you our exclusive national commentary of this game. Sir Bobby Robson stand to my left, Sir Alf Ramsey stand to my right, Sir Perry Groves to my immediate left in our commentary position in the main stand. Well, Perry Kieran McKenna here has achieved this record of getting to 100 wins quicker than anywhere else, 211 games. 2 fewer than Sir Alf, over 60 fewer than Sir Bobby. Are we guilty of sometimes overlooking what he's done here in Suffolk?
Yeah, I think, you know, their path has been accelerated, Dan, because I don't think anybody expects them to go from League One to Championship and then Championship to the Premier League in those 2 seasons, you know, so they're probably still a little bit ahead of where you thought they would be. And by the way, it's Sir Peregrine Groves.
Oh, Peregrine, okay. Ready for the off, and we are off here on TalkSport 2. It's the side who only recently won back-to-back promotions to seal Premier League football for the first time in a generation against the club desperate not to do the complete opposite this season and sink back into the 3rd tier. This is the time of the season where character and strength will play a part in securing either promotion or avoiding relegation. And TalkSport 2 will follow the candidates at either end of the table every step of the way. We are your home of the EFL. Ipswich in their regulation home strip with blue shirts and socks with white shorts. They're going to be attacking the Sir Alf Ramsey stand to our right in this first half, Ipswich. Leicester in their change strip of the pink shirts and socks with black shorts. They're attacking the Bobby Robson stand, our Leicester, to our left-hand side. Here's Dara O'Shea, Ipswich centre-half, swinging the ball out to this near side, the right, and Wes Burns knocks it down into the path of Lunes, but it was cleared away. Matasiba gets the ball about 40 yards out and immediately is urged to shoot, having broken his Ipswich duck on Tuesday. Now into the area, Luke goes down the left-hand side, almost broke for Anis Mehmeti, but he's crowded out at the end of it and the ball just dribbles behind for a Leicester City corner. So a minute gone on TalkSport 2, it's goalless. Perry Groves.
Oh, it's a great little touch there from Dan Neal. Just got the word for Leif Davis, let it roll across his body, homered it up and just laid it off with his right foot and put it into Mehmeti's path, and he couldn't quite get out of his feet. Then Okoli and Pereira could get close to him and get there, blocking. Just goes out for a goal kick for Leicester City.
Keep you updated on all the other goals going in around the country. It's all about League One, Championship, League Two. Today, FA Cup football taking centre stage across the weekend, across the TalkSport network. You've already heard Arsenal going through comfortably to the quarter-final, seeing off Mansfield in the end, the 1 call. Here's Wes Burns getting down the Ipswich right to the byline, chips the ball into the area, up go the heads, Coley gets it half clear. Davis lets it run across his body. Now down the left-hand side of the area. Mehmeti's there again, hits it against Ricardo Pereira, and he just hoofs it downfield, and that'll go straight back to Christy Moulton, the Ipswich goalkeeper. 2 minutes gone, 0-0. Good run from Wes Burns. Yeah,
really good run. Mavadini just got back just to try and protect Thomas. Then they both let him go on the outside. Got his cross in, but Ipswich couldn't quite get to the first knockdown.
Azon is robbed of possession by a strong challenge from Ben Nelson. Azon looked at the referee, John Busby, and wanted the decision his way for a free kick. Referee wasn't in the least bit interested. Here's Luke Thomas for Leicester, right underneath our commentary position. Good ball, gets in behind Furlong, and now Skipp is running towards the edge of the area. Plays a reverse ball into Patson Daka, who wasn't looking as the pass was being played, and the move came to nothing as it just gently rolled through to Walton. Big chance for Leicester on the counter, 0-0.
Do you know what, Dads? It was the wrong option there from Oliver Skipp. Great little ball from Luke Thomas. Oliver Skipp's got another 10 yards in front of him. He could actually take it to the 18-yard box. I think Daka just made his run diagonally just to take the defender away, to create a space for Skipp to get his shot in. And Skipp decided to pass it and just give it away.
Furlong gives it away now, and it's fired up to halfway. And good control from Bobby Decordova-Reid in the centre circle. Tried to play it out left for Mavididi, but Darnell Furlong more than capable of dealing with that. And he has it again in the right back position. Clips it up to the midway point of his own half. And Ipswich end up winning a throw as Wes Burns was beaten to it by Luke Thomas, 0-0.
Yeah, just at Leicester. Bobby Decordova-Reid is playing in that 10 position with Mavididi on the left-hand side, Fatawu over on that right-hand side, and we knew that Winks and Skipino would be the two sort of holding midfield players. It's been an interesting little battle in that midfield area, because we've seen Neil get himself on the ball a couple of times where he lets it roll across his body, and he's got very good awareness. So you just see that it's Harry Winks, when he comes into his area, he makes sure that he tries to lock onto him.
Oh, it's a break for Harry Winks at the edge of the area, drives it goals, and somehow Walton gets it behind. He got his body behind it, but it came off his hip or off his wrists and just somehow spooled over the crossbar. It is a Leicester City corner away to our left, 0-0.
Yeah, it's really poor play from Dan Neil there, where the ball dropped out the sky and he just tried to hook it away with his right, missed it completely, came to Harry Winks, got himself to the edge of the box, got a good volley, and in the end it was a decent save from Walton. You said Dan looked like he'd actually gone too early, hit his legs, just spilled over, corner for Leicester on their left-hand side.
Where the Bobby Robson meets the main stand that we are sat in. It's going to be a left-footed outswinger from Abdul Fatawu. Takes it now, right deep to the far post. It drops from Mavididi, and a swing and a miss, but there was a push anyway in the box, so it's a free kick to Ipswich. First goal's gone in the EFL this afternoon. It's gone in at Bloomfield Road. Blackpool 1, Wigan 0. Local derby, both sides just 1 point clear of the relegation zone, and it's Oliver Casey that's given the Tangerines the lead. And as a goal kick, meantime, for Christian Walton, takes it short to Dara O'Shea. What's your problem, Perry?
John Busby, the referee, gave a foul on Walton, and we've just seen the replay. There wasn't a player within 2 yards of him. He lost his balance. He just fell over, and he's just given a free kick. Lucky, obviously, Mavididi missed the volley completely on the right corner of the 18-yard box. That was just a very strange decision from John Busby, the referee.
Cedric Kippe plays it into the middle of the Ipswich half for his fellow centre-back Dara O'Shea. Back out to Kippe on the left-hand side. Looks up, tries to pass over halfway to find Mehmeti, but it's won back by Leicester. They're looking for Daka, but Matusiwa intercepts. He's not being urged to shoot from inside his own half from the Ipswich fans, I noticed there. Kippe again. Midway point of his own half. He elects to go back and across to Dara O'Shea. 3 of the back 4 for Ipswich used to ply their trade for West Brom. Given away by Matusiwa. Here's Mavididi driving in field to 25 yards out. Tries a low shot. Didn't really get hold of it, although he was under pressure as he tried the shot and it dribbled wide. But Leicester City are causing Ipswich some problems, mainly through Ipswich's own doing, giving the ball up in silly areas, 0-0.
Yeah, that was Matusiwa this time, just trying to roll it out to Burns on this right-hand side. Gives it straight to Mavididi. Just runs straight through the heart of Ipswich defence, gets the 18-yard box. Again, I think he just snatches it shot down to where he should be just contracting his technique. Doesn't make Walton make a save in the Ipswich goal. But as you said there, Ipswich has been a little bit sloppy in possession, especially in that centre midfield area where they've given the ball away 3 or 4 times on the trot.
Luton Town 0, Reading 1 in League One. Kevin Etchibahaman with the goal for Reading. Luton may be going to Wembley, and they are 3 unbeaten in the league, but they're 6 points off the playoffs. And Reading, who are only 2 points off the top 6, they take the lead at Kenilworth Road. Here at Portman Road on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. We played 7 minutes, 0-0 between Ipswich and Leicester. Ipswich in possession. It's Nunez just over the halfway line. Swings a good ball across to Mehmeti, inside left position. Tried to guide it out to Leif Davis, who was intercepted by Fatawu, but then he pushed Davis over, and that's been given as a free kick by John Busby, 0-0.
Yeah, again, it was a really poor ball from Mehmeti. Really good play from Nunez, just spotting Mehmeti in the inside left position.
Taken short, and out to the right-hand side it goes for Wes Burns, running at Luke Thomas. Comes in field now, Burns. Lays it back for Matusiwa. O'Shea. Everybody bar Walton inside the Leicester half of the field as Kippe comes forward. Swings an early crossing, decent ball, but nobody quite able to get on the end of it. Azon was closest, and it was well defended really by Leicester at the back to let it go behind for a goal kick. No score.
That's a brilliant ball in from Kippe. The Ipswich Town centre-half find himself in that inside left position. He just thinks, right, I'm just going to put it in that corridor of uncertainty between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box. Exactly what he does. Azon should be making a run down, should be making a run across a Coley to get in the near post, and the ball just goes straight across the 6-yard box.
Up it goes to halfway. Bit of head tennis going on. Winks tries to nod it forward to Decordova-Reid. Does really well, actually. Lovely triangular passing between Winks, Skip and Decordova-Reid. And Mavididi now brings it forward for Leicester into the centre of the half. It's sent out left to Luke Thomas, left-hand corner of the box. Tries to swing the cross in, but he skies it on the half volley. Couldn't control it or get the whip. And it's a goal kick to Ipswich Town, 0-0.
Well, Thomas, that isn't the best of you by any means as the ball comes out to this left-hand side. And it's really good play from Leicester. Their passing has been very good, Dan, hasn't it? Leicester have been very, very crisp. And he dared not look down at the surface, because Ipswich Town's pitch, going back to my year in the 80s, has always been absolutely perfect.
Are you using that Kenny Thomas, Luke Thomas pun again?
That's it.
Well, you can use it twice a year and then that's it.
Just the one.
Just so I know. Matrasiva almost had the ball taken off his toe by Daka. Leicester are working really hard and they've won the ball back again on the right-hand side. Fatawu runs into trouble, but then Neil gives it up again and he brings down the defender, and it's another free kick for Leicester City. Winks was the man fouled, and Leicester are pushing and probing and they're forcing mistakes from Ipswich. It is, though, still goalless.
Do you know what, Dance? I think Gary Rowett will be delighted the way that Ipswich Town have started, Leicester have started in this first 10 minutes, because they haven't sat deep, haven't invited pressure on themselves. They've actually made sure that they're pressing. When they're out of possession, Decordova-Reid goes up level with Daka. It goes up front like in a 4-4-2. It's like a mid-block. Then they go and press. Winks makes sure that he goes on to Matasiwa. Skip goes on to Neil. And Ipswich can't get out. They keep giving the ball away. And Leicester have been on the front foot in this first 10 minutes.
So Winks or Thomas for this free kick. Thomas runs over the ball. Winks sends the ball into the near post. Hits the first defender. Leif Davis heads it out to the left-hand side, but Mehmeti tried to clear, and a swing and a miss from the January signing. Ball sent back into the Ipswich box, and it was a nervous clearance from Kipre, who had to make it because Daka was just behind him. But Leicester have won it back again down the right-hand side. It's Decordova-Reid winning a throw this time down the right-hand side. They've got all the trigger actions working for them, and they've got Ipswich penned in their own defensive third at the moment.
They're just sharper, Dan. Just sharper off the ball. Their pass has been better with the ball.
Here is Ricardo Pereira swinging the ball in from the dead ball line. Good header clear from O'Shea under pressure from Daka. Luke Thomas flicks the ball up to the edge of the area. O'Shea gets it clear once more, and Nunez is onto it right underneath our commentary position. Swings it along the halfway line, but Leicester win it back. Decordova-Reid in the centre circle. 10 minutes gone, 11 actually gone now on Talksport 2. Ipswich 0, Leicester 0. Pivotal match at both ends of the Championship table. Barnsley lead Exeter meantime in League 1 by a goal to 0. The old stage of David McGoldrick. And Derby, starting the day in 8th, leads Sheffield Wednesday at Pride Park. 6 points off the playoffs, Derby, but Ben Brereton Diaz with the goal for the Rams. Here's Decordova-Reid winning a throw, almost level with the 18-yard line on the Leicester right, off Cedric Kipre. And they've taken the throw in short. Ricardo Pereira tucks it in field to Winks. Winks, early look to Daka, chest it down at the edge of the area. Skip will just spool it out to the left-hand side. Mavididi will keep it in play. He's got two Ipswich players with him, Mavididi. Gets into the area, but then runs into Furlong. And then it's tucked back to O'Shea, who puts a no-nonsense clearance downfield, asking Azon to give chase. But he just nudged Ben Nelson in the back on halfway. Spotted by the referee. Free kick Leicester, 0-0.
Well, I think that was a little bit soft. You can hear the Ipswich fans aren't very pleased with John Busby, the referee, but I think it's more a frustration of the way their team started, because, say, Leicester have been dominant in this first 12 minutes. Just Mavididi there when it comes out left-hand side. Tries to get at Furlong 1v1. To be fair, Burns does really well and gets back and protects his fullback and is able to snuff out the danger.
That's Perry Groves, former Arsenal title winner, alongside me. Ian Dance at Arsenal. His club won 2-1 at Mansfield in the FA Cup at lunchtime. You heard that game on Talksport 2. On Talksport, rather, whilst here on Talksport 2. What a win for Millwall at Hull City, which actually puts them above Ipswich before the start of play here this afternoon. And Ipswich have to play the two teams directly above them, Millwall and Middlesbrough, in the next month or so. Leicester beat Ipswich quite comfortably in the reverse fixture back in the autumn. 3-1. It included Abdul Fattah, who's scoring from pretty much the halfway line with Christian Walson caught out of his ground. Now Leif Davis getting down the Ipswich left of the dead ball line, hooks the ball high into the air, drops on the 18-yard line, it bounces. Burns trying to bring it under control. Although Mavadidi's making a nuisance of himself. And again, Leicester come away with possession. Luke Thomas fires it into the Ipswich half, but well defended by Kipre that time. Luke Thomas heads it down, and then Mavadidi wins a throw, somewhat fortuitously, off Darnell Furlong. And Gary Rowett is down beneath us with the sort of applause that you would expect, Perry Groves, from a manager of a team that's started this game as well as they have away from home.
Yep, they're very well structured at the moment. Said they're going to like 4-4-2 formation when they're out of possession.
If I compare this Ipswich Leicester performance to what I saw from Hull on Tuesday, they're much more on the front foot. Much more.
I think it's all credit to Gary Rowett. Obviously, losing at home against Norwich was a major setback for him, and he mentioned in his interview, Dan, didn't he, that he thought their attitude in training was great. He said they've come out here with positivity.
Well, the tried and tested is what's being used this afternoon. No Divine Mikasa or Jordan James in the starting lineup for Leicester City. They are both on the bench. Remember, a point could take Leicester out of the bottom three, but it all depends on what West Brom do at Sheffield United. That game currently 0-0 at Bramall Lane. The only goal we got for you in the Championship so far is Derby's lead through Ben Brereton Diaz against Sheffield Wednesday. There's also games at Bristol City, Charlton and Swansea today in the second tier. Remember, we've got live FA Cup football back-to-back on Talksport once we're done here. Wrexham against Chelsea, followed by Newcastle against Manchester City, both live on Talksport. It's 5:45 when the Wrexham game gets underway at the racecourse. 0-0 here as we have 15 minutes on the clock at Portman Road. Perry Groves.
Yeah, just looking at Leicester's shape, said it's very good out of possession. The only problem they've had a couple of times is when Ipswich gone down the left-hand side, Pereira's actually gone in with Mehmeti, and that's left Fatawu in the right-back position, but Ipswich haven't capitalised on it.
Throw to Ipswich, bang on halfway, on the far side of the field. Davis guides it down for Kipre. Neil tucks it back neatly for O'Shea, who can scamper up to the halfway line and then looks again down that Ipswich left for Leif Davis. It's a good ball from Dara O'Shea, who's offside though. Flag's gone up on this near side. Good idea from Dara O'Shea, but Davis, the left back, who was the assist king in the promotion season 2 years ago, but nowhere near as prolific with his assists this season, or indeed the Premier League campaign, strayed a bit too far offside.
Well, Davis really got me going there. I thought it was going to be free down that left-hand side, but just very lazy dance. You've got to be looking right across the line. There's no way you should be caught offside. It was actually a brilliant crossfield ball from O'Shea.
It's about as lazy as using that pun.
I thought it was a little bit obscure.
I think enough people would have got it, or saw it coming a mile off.
It's a bit hard. What, Route 1? I've gone back to the 80s.
You have. Free kick downfield. Kipre heads it back to halfway. Lovely touch from Nunez to keep it away from Nelson. And now Mehmeti down the left-hand side for Ipswich. Approaching the corner of the penalty area. Clips the ball to the far post. He was looking for Burns. Thomas got it clear. It might head back Wes Burns' way again on this near side. It does. He tries to keep it in play. Does well to win a throw in the end. Off Luke Thomas. And Ipswich take the throw quickly.
Just looking at Nunez, I think he could be struggling, because when he just pinged that ball out to left-hand side to Davis, he just had a little rub of his right hamstring.
Is he moving gingerly?
Hesitantly,
okay.
I think, if you don't mind.
Back with Kipre. Barnsley 2 up on Exeter now in League One. Jürgen Nathan was the goal scorer for the Tykes for their second goal. They've been a bit in and out lately, wins and defeats in succession for Barnsley. Ipswich 0, Leicester 0, Talksport 2, 17 minutes gone at Portman Road. And in terms of territory and pressure, you have to say it's been more Leicester than Ipswich that have carried the greater threat. But here come Ipswich inside the Leicester half. Kipre works it into midfield, but that's easy for Luke Thomas just to thump downfield and ask Daka to give chase, and O'Shea had to head it firmly back to his goalkeeper, and he did. 0-0.
In this first, coming up to 80 minutes, you'd have thought that it was Ipswich were struggling for a little bit of confidence, you know, and it was Leicester who had won their last 3 games, obviously, which Ipswich have. So, yeah, it's been a really good start. So just Ipswich look a little bit sort of nervy in possession. They haven't got Nunez on the ball enough in that sort of 10 position.
Well, he looks to be okay, Nunez. You mentioned that he was moving a bit uncertainly, but He's won, well, it's actually Wes Burns that's won a free kick, and Luke Thomas has been booked by John Busby for that challenge on Wes Burns. More obstruction than anything else, but that's the first yellow card of the afternoon at 0-0.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of WWE there. Really good play from Burns as it came to him, just on this right touchline, just flicked it with the outside of his right foot. And Thomas was struggling a little bit. Desperation, just made sure that he blocked him off. Quite rightly, John Busby saw it and thought, yep, you can have the first yellow card of the afternoon. Big goal in League 2, Bristol Rovers 0, Crew 1. Crew just 1 point clear of 8th. They're sitting in the last playoff position at the start of the day, and Bristol Rovers in danger of getting very, very close to the bottom 2 in League 2. Alfie Pond with the goal for Crew. Forest Green take the lead in the National League against Aldershot Town through Tate Campbell. It's 0-0 here in Suffolk. Slightly wayward clearance from Stolarczyk, and Fatu couldn't keep it in play on the far side. Ipswich have a throw in front of the Cobalt stand where the Leicester fans are, in the far corner close to the Sir Ralph Ramsey stand end. Here's Dar O'Shea, edge of the centre circle inside his own half for Ipswich. Spreads play to the right and Furlong, closed down by Mavadidi. So again he looks for Burns, who tried to nutmeg Thomas, and he kind of did, but it actually got stuck under Luke Thomas's legs and he could get it clear. O'Shea again at the back for Ipswich Town, looks for the run of Davis. He's found it this time and he's well onside as he picks the ball up at 20 yards inside the Leicester half of the field. Short pass in field for Anis Mehmeti. Mehmeti gets his head up, finds Matasiwa in field near the centre of the half, spins away from Decordova-Reid, back out to the left hand side for Davis. Mehmeti there in support, and Kipre a little further back down the touchline. Nicked in field for Matasiwa, good turn at the edge of the area from Dan Neal, and now Mehmeti trying to get away, and it's Ricardo Pereira who screwed the ball behind for Ipswich's first corner of the game on 20 minutes here on Talksport 2, 0-0. Yeah, it's a little bit better for Ipswich, better in possession. Just said, came into Dan Neal, let it roll across his body, great little reverse pass from Azon, just trying to release Mehmeti. To be fair, really good defending from Pereira, the Leicester City captain. Just got his sliding tackle in, timed it perfectly. Corner for Ipswich over on their left-hand side.
Nunez has gone across to take it, in between the Cobalt stand and the Sir Ralph Ramsey. So it'll be a right-footed in-swinger from the South American. Raises his right arm, lots of movement in and around the 6-yard box, into the near post, and very nearly found the head of Furlong. Comes out to the edge of the area. Dan Neal just chips it into the box, but that's a comfortable catch for Jakub Stolarczyk. Big goal in League 2. Tranmere, dreadful run of form, lost 10 out of 11, and they trail at home to Oldham. And the goal scorer, Mike Fondop, for the Latics. 0-0 here in the Championship on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. Middlesbrough, who are currently in second, they go to QPR late tomorrow afternoon. I think it's a 4:30 kickoff at Loftus Road. Ipswich head the ball down. Poor header from Kipre straight to Oliver Skipp, and he lays it back for Harry Winks. Winks looks up, tries to fire the ball into the path of Decordova-Reid. Kipre atoned for the error and giving it away, and then there was a foul by Harry Winks in the centre circle on Ivan Azon. No yellow card for Winks, but it is a free kick to Ipswich Town, and it's all gone quiet over here, Perry Groves.
Yeah, not just in the press box dance, it's gone quiet around the whole stadium, because the Ipswich fans thought that their team would be on the front foot, it'd be wave after attacks, but hasn't been. Stolarczyk in Leicester City's goal, he hasn't had a save to make yet.
Might have a save to make in a minute, but the ball forward is comfortably cleared by Caliber Coley. Approaching the midway point of the first half, you're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m. 18 plus, fees applied to delivery orders subject to availability. Price may vary. I can tell you, in the Six Nations, Scotland are 33-14 ahead against France. If France had got the win and a bonus point today, they would be lifting the title. But Scotland, boy oh boy. Here come Ipswich, and it's Mehmeti cut infield. There was claims for offside, and the flag did go up about 10 seconds after it needed to. Leicester get a free kick just ahead of their own 18-yard line.
Yeah, good defensive line held by Coley and Nelson, just making sure that they both stay in line with each other, and Pereira and Thomas, the two fullbacks, don't drop in behind. It's a little bit frustrating for Leicester City fans, because we could tell when it was a little chest pass from Azon, Mehmeti was 2.5, 3 yards offside, and I know that they have to wait, for the play to develop and go to second phase, but you'd want the assistant to put his flag up just a little bit quicker because players could get injured.
Ipswich Town 0, Leicester City 0 on Talksport 2. Away goes Mehmeti now, down the left-hand side as Ipswich try and break. Everybody to his right, tried to clip it across for Azon, but it was well dealt with by Harry Winks, and Leicester got it clear. And then a foul on O'Shea, was it? Yeah, right by the centre circle. So a free kick to Ipswich Town. Big goal in League One. Well, every goal's big because it seems to matter so much at either end of these tables. Plymouth 0, Doncaster 1. Doncaster starting the afternoon just 3 points off the relegation zone, but they lead at home park through Elliot Lee. Free kick didn't come to anything for Leicester, for Ipswich Town. In fact, Leicester have been given a free kick of their own inside their own half. 24 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Ipswich 0, Leicester 0.
Just another example, Dan, there. Ipswich got himself in a good position in the attacking third. And when it came into Mehmeti, he actually chose the wrong option because he tried to roll it into Azon, and Nunes made a good run down the right-hand side, and all he's got to do is just dink it over, and Nunes is completely unmarked, so he just tried to roll it into Azon, which was too congested.
Now Luke Thomas has been fouled in the centre circle. Incidentally, some of the results earlier from lunchtime, the most pivotal one, I guess, in the EFL is Lincoln winning 2-0 at Cardiff and going top of League One. The Bluebirds have been top for such a long time in that division, but Michael Scubala's Lincoln, fantastic. Here's Fatawu making a brilliant run down the Leicester right. Tries to get to the dead ball on as he won a corner. No, it's been given as a goal kick by referee John Busby and his assistant on the far side. Davis did enough to put off Abdul Fatawu, who at first sprinted past him, but as he got to the dead ball line, Davis did enough to win the goal kick for Ipswich, 0-0.
He just didn't get his crossing early enough. He did brilliantly. He got past Davis at first, then Kipre came out. He just then skipped past him. So he gets to the byline, get your crossing earlier, and just overruns it.
Giving it away, Ipswich Town, to Mavididi this time. 30 yards from goal, drops his shoulder, plays it left to Luke Thomas, across the face of goal, just behind Daka. Comes out to Fatawu, right-hand side of the area, puts it back into the near post. Vital header from Dara O'Shea. That might have been going in at the far post in the end. It's a Leicester corner, but once again, Leicester City forcing the issue here at Portman Road, 0-0.
Ipswich again, the architect's own downfall, just giving the ball away cheaply. Comes out to Fatawu. It's a great little ball, fed in with his left foot from the right-hand side. Looked like there was two players on the far post for Leicester City just going to head it over the line. Brilliant defending from O'Shea, Ipswich Town centre-half, because he made sure that he stayed in the middle of the 6-yard box. That meant he could attack the ball. Corner for Leicester on their left-hand side. To
be taken by Abdul Fatawu once again. A left-footed outswinger at the Sir Bobby Robson end to our left. Dinks it deep to the far post. Okoli wants to head it back across goal. Drops at the edge of the box. Thomas tries to drive. It's blocked at source by Nunez, but comes back out to this left-hand side of Fatawu. Time to measure a crossing. Hits it against the back of Darnell Furlong. And now the Ipswich fans are not happy. Not just with the fact that they keep giving the possession up, but now there's a Leicester player down injured that needs treatment. It's Caleb Okoli, having won that header on the far side of the area, needs a bit of treatment. Meantime, MK Dons, third in League Two, are losing at home to Harrogate Town, the bottom side in League Two. Harrogate lead through Tobias Brennan. Harrogate just 1 point adrift of getting away from trouble. That's a massive goal for Harrogate Town.
Just looking at Okoli, that's embarrassing from Okoli, because it's him and Leif Davis who actually challenged for the ball. And I thought he went down because there was a flailing arm, but it wasn't. They squared up. Leif Davis just sort of pushed him in the chest if say get away, and he throws himself to the floor. What is he, 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah.
Like he's been hit on the head with a lift, and holds his face. Honestly, Dance, he holds his face.
Sorry, I've never heard that used as an expression before. Hit on the head by a lift.
But that's how he...
Well, yeah.
That's how he went down.
I can see it in my mind's eye now. What you should be seeing in your mind's eye now is Luke Thomas preparing to take a long throw for Leicester from the left-hand side. Bounces inside the area. Nelson tried to keep it in play. Goes over the dead ball line without bouncing. It's a goal kick to Ipswich Town. 27.5 minutes gone. Accrington Stanley lead Cambridge in League Two as well. Cambridge in second, just 5 points off the top, but they're behind at the Wham Stadium. Farin Rawson with the goal for Stanley. Goal kick from Ipswich, played out to the left-hand side, and Leif Davis, who gets his head up and fires it downfield. Lovely touch in field from Azon to find Mehmeti, and then Mehmeti spots Wes Burns in space. Right-hand side, feeds it out to him. Burns, level with the 18-yard line. Plays it back to the edge of the D. Neil tees up Matasi, was going to go for goal. He went for goal again, but he dug it out and it got a deflection. It is a corner to Ipswich Town, and Matasi could see what he did on Tuesday happening all over again, but onto his weaker left foot. Wins a corner though, 0-0.
Yeah, good spotter's badge there from Burns from that right hand side. He played it into Neil. I think Neil just should have had a little over because Mehmeti was the other side of him. But in the end, he just lays it back to Matasiwa. He said there he has a bit of a flashback, thinks he's going to get it onto his left foot and bury it into Leicster's top right hand corner. Gets a little deflection. Corner for Ipswich over on the left.
It was a lovely dig with which he scored at the other end, at the Bobby Robson end on Tuesday night. We were here for that on Talksport 2. 29 minutes gone, in fact. Corner to Ipswich. Away to our right. Nunez again with a right-footed in-swinger. Right under the crossbar. Headed onto the post and wide by O'Shea. Was free at the far post, but the angle was so tight. He got something on it, but it just hit the base of the post on its way behind. And it's a Leicester City goal kick, 0-0.
There's a great in-swinging corner from the left from Nunez with his right foot. O'Shea should score that. He's completely unmarked at the far post. He's lost his marker, Thomas. And then you think all he's got to do is just nod it down. Ipswich go 1-0 up, and he's just taken his eye off the water last minute. It's come off the side of his head. Said there, hit the outside of the post, where the worst way's out, he should be hitting the target. That's Ipswich Town's best chance.
Could be another corner here for Ipswich as Luke Thomas. Oh, he's fouled by what was Ivan Azon doing, because the ball was going to go behind for a corner kick, and then he just barged Luke Thomas and gave away a silly free kick. Goals elsewhere. MK Dons have equalised against lowly Harrogate. Russian Hepburn Murphy with the equaliser for MK, and Wickham up in League One lead at third place. Bolton, Corley Woodrow, the former Fulham striker, has given Wickham the lead. And they started the day in sixth, just 1 point clear of Huddersfield on the other side of the playoff line.
Do you want my inane stat of the day?
You've always got one.
Wickham have won each of the last 3 league games against teams from Greater Manchester. Last one, 4 on a trot, August 2019-20, which included an away victory at Bolton.
Here's Anis Mehmeti for Ipswich, up to the area. Ricardo Pereira did brilliantly, even though he was falling backwards, still managed to get a toe end on the ball and keep it away from Mehmeti. And then an attempt to drive the ball downfield by Fatawu, trying to find Daka, but it skidded away, well away from Daka and straight through to the Ipswich goalkeeper Walton. Half an hour gone, 0-0.
Yeah, it's good defending from Pereira. You said there, Mehmeti went to go on the outside and the inside. Pereira's just falling backwards, managed to get his long left leg out just to get a little toe to the ball. Ipswich are now just trying to exert that little bit of pressure. Leicester have just gone that little bit deeper.
Yeah, you can see the territory has shifted in front of our eyes here at Portman Road. Ipswich are keeping the ball further away from their penalty area, certainly more than they did in the first 20 minutes of the game. And away they go down the left-hand side again with Leif Davis. Clips the ball into the area, just escapes Nunez, comes to the edge of the area, Burns, tees up Matasiwa, doesn't shoot, sends it right for Furlong. Furlong floats it into the area. Nelson with a desperate headed clearance for Leicester. Up steps O'Shea. O'Shea goes for goal, and that's only just over. Fizzes over from good 25 yards from Dara O'Shea, but that's better from Ipswich Town, although it stays goalless on Talksport 2.
Yes, down their left-hand side again. Dante just said that Leicester are struggling in that area because Fatawu doesn't want to really be in the right back position. What happens is Mehmeti comes in from the left-hand side. That means Pereira then follows him. There's a big space on that left for Leif Davis, which they've managed to utilise, and he's got himself into the dangerous position, got his cross into the far post. Burns looks like he should have shot. Then he gives it to obviously Matasiwa. And Matasiwa then comes back to O'Shea. O'Shea gets his shot. It's a good strike, but didn't quite dip enough. Didn't test Zlacek. And the Leicester City goalkeeper, coming up to the 33rd minute, still hasn't made a save. Chesterfield 1, Shrewsbury 0 in League 2. Tom Naylor for Chesterfield, starting the day in 6th in League 2. Here's Dara O'Shea, who just had that long-range effort for Ipswich. Gives the ball up on halfway. There's a break on suddenly for Leicester, although there's blue shirts getting back behind the ball, and Patson Daka played a poor pass anyway, trying to find Bobby Deckard over Reed. Bradford City are in front
in League One at home to Leyton Orient. Anthony Sarcevic for the Bantams. Wes Burns for Ipswich, meantime. Caught offside as he brought the ball in field, much to the locals' displeasure. Leicester get another free kick. We've got 12 to half time here on Talksport 2. It is 0-0, and remember, we've got the 2 evening FA Cup ties live on Talksport straight after this commentary. Wrexham against Chelsea at 5:45, and we'll follow that with Newcastle against Manchester City. Here come Ipswich again. Dan Neil playing it into Nunez, about 25 yards from goal. It's out to the inside right channel, and now to the right wing for Wes Burns. 2 Leicester players facing him, so he's gone back to Darnell Furlong. Burns again, neat ball in field. He's played a 1-2 with Matasiwa. Now he finds Neil 30 yards from goal with his back to play, but he's been dispossessed by Harry Winks. And just for a moment, it's 3-on-3 as Leicester come forward. Now blue shirts flooding back. Fatawu caught by Wes Burns. Yellow card for the Ipswich number 7 for bringing down the Leicester number 7. 0-0.
Yeah, he knew exactly what he was doing there, Wes Burns, because he did well defensively, because he knew there was a big gap over on that left-hand side, so he feels it in. Fatawu does really well, actually, because he just cuts in from that right-hand side, then he just gets it onto his left foot. He goes across Burns. Burns has a look on his left shoulder now, actually, no, there's a 2v2, so he thinks, right, I'll just clean you out, I'll take one for the team. Exactly what he does. Then it quells the Leicester City attack, but they've got a free kick in a dangerous position.
Just at the midway point of the Ipswich half, to the right of centre, Dundee lead Motherwell in the one Scottish Premiership game this afternoon. Remember, Motherwell almost in the title race, but Tony Egan's put Dundee ahead. So a Leicester free kick. Luke Thomas and Harry Winks standing over it. And Ipswich holding their line at the edge of the D. Winks chips it into the edge of the box, headed away by Matasiwa. Straight back to Harry Winks, but he has to tuck it back to Ricardo Pereira in the centre circle. Winks again now has possession. Lofts another high ball up to the edge of the area. Nelson heads it up in the air. Volleyed towards goal by Akoli. Couldn't quite get right behind it. Still forced to save out of Christian Walton. And it's still 0-0 and 10 minutes to half-time on Talksport 2.
Yeah, good play from Leicester City centre-halves. First it was Nelson, just making sure that he wins the cross coming in from Winks, and Akoli, as the ball just drops out of the air 16 yards out, I think he should just put his laces for it. He tried that sort of side foot volley, and in the end he just goes into the turf. Simple save from Walton.
Here is Anis Mehmeti driving a lovely ball out to Burns, brings the ball out of the sky near the right-hand corner of the area, lets the ball bounce, then floats the ball to the far post, but that's a comfortable header clear, or at least half clear, from Ricardo Pereira, and then Fatawu lets the ball go back to his keeper. Don't forget, Cheltenham's here next week, and therefore, in theory, so is Alan Brazil, all 5 days at Prestbury Park. Let's see. We've even invented a little computer game that you can get on the TalkSport app to try and get Alan to Cheltenham.
Oh, was it? What is it? I thought you said like a Where's Wally. You've got to find him.
No, you've got to actually guide him through to
what corporate bar is in.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he'd be well behaved. That's from 6 a.m.
up until about Wednesday.
Yeah. That's from 6 a.m. Monday, Talksport Breakfast live from Prestbury Park for the Cheltenham Festival. And there's a shed load of football as well. FA Cup and Champions League and Europa League and Conference League next week. When you've got the TalkSport app downloaded, just go to the live games button, the bottom right-hand corner of the app, and you'll see all the matches that we've got coming up on which channel you will find them. Right now we're in the midst of Ipswich 0, Leicester 0 with 9 minutes to the break. On Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Coventry the leaders 1-0 up at Bristol City. Tatsuhiro Sakamoto with the goal for Coventry. And a foul on Steffi Mavididi, and again you can hear the frustration starting to build around Portman Road. Winks knocks the free kick back to Akoli. Ricardo Pereira inside his own half, forced back to his keeper Stolarczyk, who, as Perry Groves has rightly said, has not had a save to make in the Leicester goal so far this afternoon. Mavididi trying to hold on to the ball, and then a foul on Matasiwa from Oliver Skipp. Gives Ipswich a free kick right on halfway.
You know, like, football is very simple sometimes, Dan. So obviously, Luke Thomas at left back for Leicester was booked early on, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. So why not just keep feeding Burns out on this right hand side? Just keep feeding him, just keep getting to his feet and saying, right, you take him on, because he's had the beat of him a couple of times,
He gets it now, but he tries to flick it in field. It was a bit too clever there, Wes Burns, and it was won back by Leicester. Daka making strides down the left-hand side. He's fouled by Matosiwa. That looked 50-50 to me. I don't know what Perry Groves thinks, but Leicester have got themselves a free kick about 6 or 7 yards in from this near touchline, midway point of the Ipswich half. 0-0 on Talksport 2.
Well, as the ball bounced up, Dance, Matosiwa didn't need to make the challenge because Daka's just watching the bounce, wants to get to it so he can chest it, and he's only facing the touchline. So all Matosiwa's got to do is just get shoulder to shoulder with him, just get to the side of him. What he does, he actually just shoulders him in the back, knocks him off balance. Referee gives a free kick, gets his little can out, walks the 10 yards, puts his spray down.
Only one man standing behind that shaving foam, and that's Anis Mehmeti. Again, Winks and Thomas are the two Leicester players standing over the ball. Now it's Thomas who delivers, left-footed, swinging to the edge of the area. What a goal! Patson Daka! A crucial goal for Leicester City in their bid to stay in the Championship. The delivery from Luke Thomas, Van Daka coming into the far post, and he swept it home with his left foot. And Ipswich fans are stunned, and the Leicester fans going potty over on the far side of the stadium because Patson Daka has just fired Leicester in front. Massive goal for the Foxes. Ipswich 0, Leicester 1.
Dance is a brilliant finish from Patson Daka. Really good delivery from Luke Thomas from this left-hand side. Out with his left foot. Daka just makes sure that he watches the flight of the ball, and as it drops out of the air with his left foot, he's just made sure he's got really good technique, gets his knee over the body, smashes the ball into the ground, gives Wharton absolutely no chance, low to his left-hand side. Brilliantly crafted goal from the free kick, brilliant execution from the volley, and you have to say, Dance, Leicester City are well worth their 1-0 lead here at Portman Road against Ipswich Town.
Fourth goal of the season for Patson Daka. Not exactly a goal machine, mind you. Last season he only got one in the Premier League against West Ham. But that's an enormous moment potentially in Leicester City's season. Remember, Gary Rowett hasn't won since taking charge in recent weeks at the Foxes. And on the flip side of the coin, that puts Ipswich under pressure after their 3 straight wins. Remember, they started the day in fourth after Millwall's 3-1 win at Hull City that we brought you at lunchtime on Talksport 2. So the frustration that Ipswich fans felt here on Tuesday against Hull has just been intensified by going behind here. But here's Leif Davis getting forward with 5 minutes to half-time. Goes down cheaply at the edge of the area, right under the referee's nose, who wanted nothing to do with that as any sort of foul. And it's out of play. And now Leicester will be desperate, Perry Groves, to hold on to this until the half-time whistle. 1-0 to the Foxes.
Yep, he's got to manage the game and don't drop too deep like they have been in this first half. You know, they've been on the front foot. They actually have been the better side, created the most chances. You have to say the goal from Leicester, that epitomises how poor Ipswich have been, because Kieran McKenna, the Ipswich man, will be absolutely seething that when the free kick comes in from Luke Thomas' left-hand side, that Daka actually volleys it down. You shouldn't be volleying it as it drops out of the air from 16 yards out. So O'Shea and Kipre, the two Ipswich Town centre-halves, they've got to go and attack the ball. They've got to go and win it. They don't. And it's brilliant execution from Daka. Really good technique. And as I say, it's not against the run of play. You know, you said Leicester fully warrant their 1-0 lead.
Update you on the scores in the 3 o'clocks in the Championship. Coventry 1 up at Bristol City, 0-0 Charlton Birmingham, Derby 1 Sheffield Wednesday 1, Jerry Yates equalised for Wednesday. Ipswich 0 Leicester 1 here, Sheffield United 0 West Brom 0, and Swansea 0 Stoke 0, but Stoke are down to 10 men. Sorba Thomas getting a second yellow card, 2 lemons make a
strawberry,
and he's gone. York City 2-1 up at the top of the National League against Eastleigh. And here at Portman Road, 3 minutes to half-time, and lots for the Ipswich fans to contemplate. And it's the Leicester fans who are making the noise over on the far side of the stadium from us, as Wes Burns picks up possession on this near side for Ipswich, having a run at Luke Thomas, gets on the outside of him, deep ball to the far post, brought down by Mehmeti, got a bit of space, curls it goalwards, and it's actually a comfortable save from Stolarczyk, moving slightly to his left. He had Dan Neal, did Mehmeti, waiting for a pullback, which didn't come. He fancied going for goal himself, and it didn't work out for Anis Mehmeti. And now The referee's given a free kick to Ipswich just outside the penalty area, Perry Groves.
Yeah, I think he's actually pulled up Solarchek, the Leicester City goalkeeper, of maybe just coming outside the 18-yard box. I tell you, he must have good eyes, because he's looking him straight down the barrel here. Actually, no, he's given him the count. He's given the 5 count down.
Oh, that's right, for not releasing the ball in time. So that means a corner's been awarded to Ipswich. You'll imagine conceding from this if you've been punished for holding on for the ball for too long. So Nunez with the corner, right under the crossbar. Solarchik punches clear, gets good distance on it. It's nodded back to Matasiwa, who's the last man for Ipswich, and has to drill it all the way back to his goalkeeper, Walton. 90 seconds of the first half remaining on Talksport 2. Leicester 1-0 up at Ipswich. And Thomas climbs well to head the ball out of play for an Ipswich throw. Burton 0, Stevenage 1 in League One. Stevenage just 2 points off 6th. And Jamie Reid, very, very regular goal scorer for them, has that opener for Stevenage. And Wickham are now 2-0 up at Bolton. Nathan Lowe with a second for the Chairboys. Here comes a long throw from Darnell Furlong. He's a bit of a specialist at that, but he just gets that all wrong for Ipswich. And Leicester trying to get it clear. Fatawu just hits it up to halfway. Won't find Dickled over Reed. Matasiwa with a strong header. It's brought down by Azon, and he's caught by Okoli. Free kick to Ipswich Town with 30 seconds of normal time to play in this first half on Talksport 2. And Ipswich have a chance again to load the Leicester City penalty area, Perry Groves.
Yeah, I think Okoli, just getting a little bit too intense. Needs to calm down a little bit. Just gives a really cheap free kick away unnecessarily. Just again a danger for Ipswich in like the inside left position when Leif Davis will put a little outswing with his left foot.
And we're just moving into 1 minute of minimum added time as Davis sends the free kick in and headed wide by Furlong, who got up at the near post but just couldn't direct the header the way he wanted to. Just skimmed off the top of his head as much as anything. And Leicester should be able to see this out to half-time with that precious goal advantage given to them by Patson Daka.
Yeah, Leif Davis just swinging the free kick in from that left-hand side. Furlong just stretching a little bit, maybe. Just have a bit of awareness and let it go into a more dangerous area. Just stretches, puts his neck out, then just comes off the top of his head. Doesn't trouble Stolarczyk.
Leyton Orient equalise at Bradford in League One. Ollie O'Neill making it 1-1. Here's Harry Winks for Leicester, finding Fatawu right-hand side. Good ball forward from Ricardo Pereira. Neat touch from Deckled over Reed, and now Fatawu running across the line from right to left, and then plays it back into his own half. Derby retake the lead against Sheffield Wednesday right at the end of the half. Matt Clark, and out to play goes for a throw, and the referee has blown for half-time, and there's much displeasure around Portman Road, but not in the far corner of the stadium in the Cobbold stand, because the travelling Leicester fans who've endured so much this season, not a happy camp, but they're happy right now because they lead Ipswich Town by a 1-0. A goal given to them late in the first half from Patson Daka, who came forward for a free kick, swung in from the left-hand side by Luke Thomas, and a wonderful finish, swept it home as well as the free kick was delivered by Patson Daka. And that after Ipswich had rarely caused Jakub Stolarczyk in the Leicester goal that many problems. Territorially, Leicester had the better of it. Ipswich did have a spell around the half hour, but never really looked likely to create a gilt-edged chance. And it's Leicester City who, as it stands, Natalie, are going to be out of the bottom 3 if results stay as they are. Because at the moment, here at the break at least, it is Ipswich Town 0, Leicester City 1.
Ian, thank you very much. Yeah, Leicester have their noses in front then as they lead at the break. Let's look over that first half with Perry Groves. And Perry, we weren't sort of sure what we were going to see from Leicester, but my goodness, did they come out and put the fight to Ipswich?
Yeah, very much so. No, they didn't sit back. We thought, they might sort of defend deep and try and hit Ipswich on the counter-attack. They didn't. They just made sure that they pushed the centre-halves, Okoli and Nelson, nearly up 10-15 yards from the halfway line. When Ipswich was trying to play out from the back, when it's coming to Matasiwa and Neil, Winks and Skip get close, they were going to close him down. To be fair, up front as well, Daka and De Cordova-Reid would come alongside him, so like go a 4-4-2 out of possession, and they didn't drop deep, and especially in that first 20-25 minutes, Leicester were the team that was on the front foot, and Ipswich just kept giving the ball away, just really sort of stodgy in possession. And I'll be amazed if at half-time Kieran McKenna, the Ipswich Town manager, doesn't make some changes now, because up front, Azon has been like Mr. Cellophane. You know, he was like invisible. You never know that he was there. There's no sort of threat whatsoever. So I wouldn't be surprised if Hurst comes on, because they need some physicality. You know, they need like a focal point. But Gary Rowett, the Leicester City manager, he will be absolutely delighted at the response, you know, from the obviously poor defeat against Norwich City, with the way that his team have set about their jobs today, because there has been intensity and they have defended like they haven't defended before this season, and say Leicester have been very impressive in that first half.
Yeah, it's going to be a performance that Gary Rowett will no doubt be very pleased about, but they still have another 45 minutes to ensure they come away with what is going to be a very crucial 3 points for Leicester, because as Ian told us, as the way things are going, that takes them out of the bottom three. And from this performance, which at times obviously Ipswich were on top, we have to say that, but the fight that they have shown, you know, when you think back to Tottenham, and what a lot of people are saying about Tottenham this season is they've got no fight. We're seeing that in Leicester today, might just steer people away from thinking that they'll go down.
But they have to carry this on into the second half as well now here today, you know, because say that they have been resilient, they've been stoic, so they've closed down, the energy's been really good, and you know, like we have like stats, damn lies and statistics and lies and stats and everything that goes on. The biggest one here, the damning stat from Ipswich, it took them till the 42nd minute until get a shot on target from Mehmeti, which went straight at Solarchek, and the goalkeeper hasn't been troubled. O'Shea maybe should have scored from a Nunes in swinging corner where he's unmarked at the far post and he should be getting his header on target. It's the outside of the post. Apart from that, Leicester have been fairly comfortable, you know, and Ipswich have had the ball. I think they've controlled the game without the ball as well, Leicester. You know, they say their shape has been very good, and the goal, that epitomised how sloppy Ipswich have been, but how good Leicester have been, because it was a great free kick in from Thomas from the left-hand side, outswing with his left foot, and Daka finds himself unmarked, 16 yards out. As the ball drops down, he gets his knee over the top of it with his left foot and smashes it in the ground, gives Walton no chance. But he should not be able to volley the ball when it's dropping out of the air 16 yards from goal, where you've got O'Shea and Kipre, the two centre-halves. One of those has to go and win the header. So, say, Kieran McKenna, there's a lot for him to put right at half-time. Not just with his substitutions, but with the way that his team approached it, because they looked a little bit nervous. You know, they looked a bit nervous in possession. They just kept giving the ball away really cheaply. It was good closing down from Leicester, but you've got to be better in possession than what they have been. So there's a lot to change for Ipswich in this second half, whereas Gary Rowett, the Leicester City manager, will be like, lads, that was fantastic. You've done everything I've asked you to do. Now you've got to make sure that you keep your energy levels up to the levels that you've set there, because say they were very impressive in that first half.
It is a huge 45 minutes then coming up for both Ipswich and Leicester. Perry, for now, thank you. Next here on Talksport 2, we'll of course bring you the second half from Portman Road, and we'll be sure to bring you a halftime classifieds check. You're tuning into EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m, 18 and over. Fees apply to delivery orders, subject to availability, and price may vary.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the EFL. EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. The Big Arch is here to stay at McDonald's with its very own delicious sauce. Available from 11 a.m, subject to availability. Price and participation may vary.
Who are you going for at the Cheltenham Festival?
The favourite.
The favourite.
The favourite, without a doubt.
This Cheltenham Festival, everyone's going for the free favourite pull-out in the sun. It's jam-packed with top tips and form guides for all the runners and riders. And a free £5 in-shop bet with Coral each day of the festival. Get your copy of The Favourite every day, only in the sun. T's and C's apply. 18+ only. Gambleaware.org.
At Adrian Flux, we offer value-for-money specialist insurance for all kinds of vans and commercial vehicles.
From couriers and caterers
to plumbers, chippies, and even Mr. Whippies. Last year, our customers saved an average of 21% with a cost-effective, expertly tailored policy from Adrian Flux. Get van insurance that works hard for you and your business. Visit adrianflux.co.uk to get a call back today. Adrian Flux, insurance for the individual.
Lidl's garden season is a go! With new gardening gear every week, from potting and planting to outdoor furniture, 10 weeks from the 5th of March. We're just getting warmed up. Lidl, more to value. While stocks last, selected stores GB only. In store from the 5th of the 3rd, 26.
This was made with human intelligence.
And artificial intelligence.
Just like Intuit QuickBooks Business Management software. If you're a sole trader earning over 50k from April 2026, making tax digital means
you have to file your taxes online.
But new QuickBooks AI has
automated tools to help make compliance easier.
I was going to say that. I'll do it with Intuit QuickBooks.
The moment they walk down the aisle, you want to see it all and feel ready. Our advanced eye test checks both your eyesight and eye health, so you feel confident in life's important moments. It includes a UV protection and dry eye assessment, plus an OCT scan for early detection of conditions like glaucoma. Book your advanced eye test today. Vision Express. Step out with confidence. T&Cs apply. Upgrade your free NHS PRSI medical card eye test for a nominal fee.
Hello, Mike's Mechanics. How can we help?
Can you tell me what's wrong with my car? It's making a noise.
Right. And is that when you brake or accelerate?
So when I brake, it's more of a... and when I accelerate, it's more of a... If you get me.
Right.
Customers can be hard work. Switching your bank account won't be. We'll automatically move your regular payments over when you switch with the Current Account Switch service.
Crayola has landed on Planet Happy Meal, so explore your little astronaut's imagination and see where their creativity takes them. From colouring to creating, the sky's the limit. So reach for the stars. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until 23rd of March from 11 a.m. Includes one pre-selected book or toy, whilst Crayola range comprises toys only, while stocks last.
Talksport 2 is your dynamic destination for all the latest sporting action. Featuring live commentary of all the biggest events, including football, PGA golf, horse racing, Premiership rugby, cricket, boxing, and all the big-hitting drama of the NFL. Touchdown! Plus, Talksport 2's official betting partner, William Hill, is always on hand with the insight and in-depth analysis you need. Talksport 2 with official betting partner, William Hill. 18+, gambleaware.org.
The stars come out to talk on Talksport and Talksport 2.
Michael Owen, how are you doing, sir?
I look around the world at the moment, I don't see anybody that really we should be absolutely fearful of.
AAA rated opinion.
Sitting alongside each other, they haven't come to blows. Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn. How have you gone from those quotes to where you are now?
Yeah, I know. I was like, what are you trying to do here? Bring it all back to the biggest names in the football galaxy.
Ontario's in the studio. JT, great to see you.
Busy day today.
I bet you're all over the place.
Yeah, a little bit. Massive games, massive names on Talksport and Talksport 2. Your live sports station.
Oh, what a move. This is Talksport 2.
This is Game Day. Halftime classifieds.
You're listening to Talksport 2, the home of the EFL. I'm Natalie Sawyer. Let's get used to your halftime classified, shall we? Starting with
the Emirates FA Cup.
In the early kick-off, Arsenal beat Mansfield 2-1.
Sky Bet Championship.
In the early kick-offs, it finished Blackburn 1, Portsmouth 1, Millwall 3-1 winners at Hull in our earlier live game. At the break, it's Bristol City 0, Coventry 2, Charlton 0, Birmingham 0, Derby 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Ipswich 0, Leicester 1, Sheffield United 0, West Brom 0, and Swansea and Stoke are goalless.
Sky Bet League One.
In the two early kick-offs, Lincoln were big winners at Cardiff, winning that one 2-0. Huddersfield were 1-0 winners over Rotherham. At half-time, it's Barnsley 2, Exeter 0, Blackpool 1, Wigan 1, Bolton 0, Wycombe 2, Bradford 1, Leyton Orient 1, Burton 0, Stevenage 1, Luton 1, Reading 1, Plymouth 1 and Doncaster 1.
Sky Bet League 2.
Two early games saw Grimsby and Bromley play out a 1-1 draw, and Salford were 2-0 winners over Barnet. At the break, it's Accrington 1, Cambridge United 0, Bristol Rovers 0, Crewe 1, Chesterfield 1, Shrewsbury 1, goalless between Crawley, Swindon and Gillingham and Fleetwood. MK Dons are 2-1 up at home to Harrogate. No goals between Newport and Colchester. Oldham are 2-0 up at Tranmere, and Walsall are leading 1-0 against Notts County. Okay, earlier on, we brought you a fascinating game between Hull and Millwall, and it finished 3-1 to the visitors to the MKM Stadium in Yorkshire. Let's hear from the Hull boss, shall we? Sergei Yakirovich. His side had a goal controversially disallowed in the first half for a foul by Ollie McBurney on the Millwall keeper Anthony Patterson, and the Hull boss says it's time to introduce technology into the championship.
When I saw video, this is a goal all day. It's very, very short. So if when the referee will see that, he will have the same opinion.
It's a game-changing decision at such a crucial part of the season as well, which is what I'm saying must be so frustrating for the players in particular.
Yes, it's frustrating, and this is why I think we need VAR in this league.
So that's what the Hull manager had to say. Let's take you back to Perry Groves and Ian Danter then, who are at Portman Road. And I know, Dance, you must love the idea of VAR in the Championship.
Boo! Boo! Because it's worked so well in the Premier League, hasn't it, Sergei? Good grief, man.
If we had more than 4 thumbs, there'd be like more thumbs down, honestly, in a heartbeat. It's just because one decision goes against you. There's probably, in the whole season, there's probably 4 or 5 what you'd say really shockingly bad decisions. And we're lucky enough to watch it week after week after week. The game flows better. The ball's in play for more minutes. The referees actually manage the game better because they don't feel under that much pressure.
We're in the middle. I've said this before, Natalie. We're in the middle of this brilliant controlled experiment in this country where the Championship, which is one of the most watched leagues in Europe, has no VAR. The Premier League, which does, and which is the product that the fans are happier with. It's the Championship.
Well, yeah,
by a country mile. And yet there's still this continuing narrative of minimum interference for maximum benefit. Rubbish. You cannot back that up. And they've had 8 years to get VAR right. 8 years, Natalie, since the World Cup in Russia, when we first saw it in action and then it was brought in the Premier League. I see nothing of that statement being correct. Minimum interference for maximum benefit. It's the other way round, and we should be ashamed of ourselves that we as a collective, fans, media, whatever, allowed this to happen. Because whether I wanted it or not, it arrived, and it's been shambolic ever since. I don't want it anywhere near the Championship.
I don't know where Dance really stands on this, Nat.
I know.
Come back to it
get off that fence, Dance, whatever you do.
That was incredible.
Really got to commit one of these days, haven't I?
That was a Bob Willis long run-up, wasn't it, from the side screen?
Really
well, I wouldn't say it to Sergei Yakiravich's face, though, because he's a slightly big man. Yes. And I think he might sort of, I don't want to go near that.
You can pick and choose your fights.
Yes.
Talking of fights, that's what we might have in this second half, because Ipswich have it all to do to get back into this game against a Leicester side that are desperate to remain, as they are currently, out now of the relegation zone. So let's hand you back to your commentary team then, as Leicester lead 1-0 at Ipswich. Perry Groves is with Ian Danter.
And relax.
You're right.
Thank you, Natalie.
Just do a little bit of yoga. A little peppermint tea.
A little bit of pilates.
Yes.
Sorry, Pilates.
And just
that's the
calm
Brummie in me.
yourself down.
Well, all is calm.
Can we get some candles
in the
over
Leicester City end. Around the other stands up, a lot of contemplation at half time. I'm speaking to an Ipswich fan up there at half time. Perry said that's the worst we played all season, and I think you could probably look at all 6 of the players at the back for Ipswich, the back 4 and the 2 defensive midfielders, Matasiwa and Neil, who I think at one stage or another in that first half were all guilty of giving the ball up in their own half.
Yeah, just lack of concentration, maybe, very sloppy, maybe a little bit nerves. We're just looking, we had, a chat with quite a lot of these, say, the Ipswich Town sort of press boys and local press, and we were saying that Kieran McKenna has to make at least 2 substitutions because his team and they said he very rarely does it. He very rarely makes substitutions at half time.
He's not done it here. We are as you were for the first half. I'll run you through the lineups in a minute. Leicester about to get us back underway. Wearing their pink chain strip this afternoon. Shirts and socks with black shorts. Ipswich in the blue shirts and socks with white shorts. And Leicester will be attacking the Sir Alf Ramsey stand to our right as Perry and myself sit in the main stand here at Portman Road with the Sir Bobby Robson stand to our left. That's the end that Ipswich are going to be attacking in the second half. And Dan Neil from the Ipswich midfield lobs it up to halfway. O'Coley puts it out for a throw. So quickly those lineups. For Ipswich, it's Walton in goal. Furlong, O'Shea, Kipre, Davis, Matusiwa and Neil. Burns, Nunez, Mehmeti and Azon. For Leicester, Stolarczyk the keeper. Pereira, O'Coley, Nelson and Thomas. Winks and Skip. Fatawu, Decordova-Reid, Mavididi and Daka, the goal scorer. And Ipswich in possession inside their own half as we tick round towards 46 minutes. So Ipswich, as it stands, would stay fourth in the table. Millwall having won at lunchtime at Hull, going above them. Here's Marcelino Nunez trying to pirouette away from Ollie Skip. Plays it out to the right for Burns. Drives the ball for the far post. Davis heads it across the face of goal and Azon tried to make something of it. Again, the angle was so tight at the far post and he was well defended by Ben Nelson, and it ends up merely being a goal kick to Leicester City away to our left. 1-0 to the Foxes.
Yeah, Nelson moves close up because if he doesn't, he said that Azon's at the far post, he gets a little tap in. It's really good play from Ipswich from the right hand side from Burns. It's a drilled cross to the far post to Davis, who gets a good header back across, and as I say, Azon tries to get there. Nelson's defending is really good, just eases him off the ball.
Now you go for one-hit wonders. Ollie Skip looks for Mavididi in the centre of the Ipswich half, but Matusiwa did well to win possession back for the hosts, who bring it forward now with Kipre, and then Mehmeti decides to go all the way back to goalkeeper Christian Walton. And we've got two live FA Cup ties on Talksport at tea time. Wrexham against Chelsea. I'll be listening to that on my drive home. And after that, Newcastle United against Manchester City. Back-to-back from 5:45 in the FA Cup. Arsenal have already made the quarterfinals, as have Liverpool, with the games to be brought you already this weekend.
Just saying in the FA Cup, that's how...
Oh, here's Azon down the left-hand side. He's got away from O'Coley. O'Coley gets back at him. Azon goes down, and he was trying to win a penalty there by barging into O'Coley. And again, in credit to John Busby, the referee, right on the spot, and was not in the least bit interested in Azon's claims. 1-0 Leicester.
That's embarrassing from Azon because he had brilliantly initially to get away from O'Coley, just skips it past him, gets into the 18-yard box, plays the ball straight, and then he actually changes his course, his path into O'Coley.
Davis brings the ball down left wing for Ipswich, drives it across the face of goal, and well defended that time by Luke Thomas because Nunez was flying in. Nelson heads clear. It's almost like it's the last 5 minutes of the half rather than the first 5 minutes of the half. The way Ipswich are trying to pressurise. Cleared away by Nelson. Fatawu has just been down for a moment, just getting up slowly for Leicester. Meantime, Ipswich have the ball back on halfway. 3 minutes gone in the second half, and two Leicester players going for a challenge on Dan Neil to put the ball out of play for a throw. This is much more up-tempo from Ipswich Town.
Do you think the Ipswich Town players might have had a flea in there at half-time from
Quite possibly. Azon trying to turn the ball round the corner for Dan Neil. O'Coley defends well. Fatawu keeps it in play on this near touchline and is pulled to the ground by Mehmeti. Free kick to the away side.
Dan, I've got to go back to that Azon incident there because he gets on the outside of O'Coley. He's got goal side of him, and then as he just puts the ball out of his own path, he actually runs across O'Coley, barges into him and throws himself to the floor. 100%. John Busby got the referee got it right. He should be booked. 100% he should be booked for that because that's embarrassing. And you could see Gary Rout, the Leicester City manager, he weren't very happy as well. He was actually pointing at the ref. He thumbed up at first and he'd say, you should be booking him for that.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't, and it stays Ipswich 0, Leicester 1. 4 minutes gone in the second half. By the way, it finished in the Six Nations. Scotland 50, 5-0 50. France 40, 4-0 40. Leicester prevent a corner. That's good defending from Ben Nelson. It was clutched onto by Stolarczyk right on the byline. It wasn't classed as a back pass by John Busby, which I think is just about fair enough. So yeah, 50-40 in Scotland's favour in the Six Nations. England play against Italy in Rome later. Meantime, 1-0 here to Leicester. 5 minutes gone pretty much in the second half.
Do you see Ipswich Town down as well with Meti when they're in possession? He goes into the inside left position. That enables Davis then to be sort of the widest player on this left-hand side, but Ipswich are giving the ball away.
Mehmeti just muscled out of it there by Oliver Skipp. And here's Winks, the other part of that midfield engine room for Leicester. He's won a free kick on halfway. And those two are dovetailing nicely today, Harry Winks and Oliver Skipp. What were you saying before the game? They're almost too similar. I see what you mean, but it's working today so far for Leicester.
What they've done, they've been very disciplined defensively. We said Winks makes sure he goes on Matisse when Skipp looks for Neil, and they've managed to stop Ipswich getting into any rhythm at the moment.
Nunez on halfway, got a huge man on, managed to guide it out to Burns on the far right hand side. Furlong has to tuck it back to O'Shea, who's being pressurised by Decordova-Reid, neatly steps past Decordova-Reid, who tries to have a nibble back at him again, and then O'Shea breaks between two challenges. Finally he's dragged back by the arm, and the referee gives a free kick. And Decordova-Reid's going to get a yellow card for kicking the ball away. That's silly, and it happens a lot. 1-0 to Leicester.
He did brilliantly initially, Decordova-Reid, because he made sure it was like an annoying wasp. You know, when O'Shea was just trying to get past him, he kept buzzing around it. And then what he should do is just go, right, I've done my job, I'm going to fly off somewhere. O'Shea puts his hand on top of the ball, tries to take it quickly. Decordova-Reid kicks it away, gets a real unnecessary yellow card.
Perry Groves alongside me, Ian Danta as Azon wins a free kick with Coley barging into his back. Crawley Town leads Swindon in League 2. Crawley 22nd at the start of the day, just above the drop zone, and no win in 6 for Crawley, but Clyde Lolos has given the Sussex club the lead against high-flying Swindon.
Swindon have scored in 15 of their 17 away League 2 games this season. MK Dons is the only other team who've scored in more away games, 16.
Well, they're going to have to add to that if they're going to get even a point out of that game at Crawley. Meantime, free kick for Ipswich Town, but it's about 15 yards inside, maybe 20 yards inside Leicester territory. Nunez just chips it into the area. O'Shea heads it across goal, well defended by Luke Thomas, because that was heading in the direction of Azon at the far post. The flag's gone up for offside anyway, so it won't even be a corner. But Leicester City's defenders weren't to know that, and they defended it well, and they still lead 1-0 here.
Yeah, just looking at O'Shea, just went a little bit too soon looking across the line. It was a really good header actually back across the 18-yard box. Just went a little bit too early, got away from Oliver Skipp, bit of a mismatch there. And quite rightly, the assistant on the far side put his flag up. He was absolutely spot on, the yard offside. Looking at Kieran McKenna now, the Ipswich Town manager. Worst ways out, Dan, if this gets to 55 minutes, we're coming up to 53, and Ipswich haven't got themselves an equaliser, you have to be making changes, because on the bench, he's got the two, Jack Taylor and Jack Clark, who can come on, and obviously Jack Clark can play in that sort of more advanced position. He gives you energy, and so does Jack Taylor if you put him in the central position.
Well, I saw them both play here from the start on Tuesday, but that's part of Kieran McKenna's reckoning to make rotations between these two games in the space of 4 days, but it's working in Leicester City's favour at the moment. As Kipre floats it down the left-hand side, asking Leif Davis to give chase. He manages to clip the ball in from the dead ball line, but it was easy enough for Okoli to clear, but at the expense of an Ipswich throw. Quickly sent back into play by Dan Neal, who gets it back on this near side from Kipre. Matasiwa plays the ball up to the edge of the area. Skipp manages to clear it under pressure from Azon. Ball bounces around the midway point of the Leicester half, and Ipswich win it back. Azon picks it up at the edge of the area, tiptoes away from Winks, plays it just outside the box down the right, first for Furlong, and now Burns across the area. Oh, and an absolute swing and a skewed miss from Anis Mehmeti, trying to send it goalwards, but it almost came off his standing foot, his left, and screwed well away from goal. And now Luke Thomas, under pressure from Burns, puts the ball out of play for another Ipswich throw down their right. 1-0 Leicester.
Yeah, the Ipswich Town fans have finally got something to shout about. There's more intensity in Ipswich Town's play, moving the ball a lot quicker. Come out to Burns on that right-hand side. It was a really good spotter's badge into Mehmeti. He's just got to calm himself down, Dance, on the edge of the 18-yard box, use the pace ball it's coming to him to get his right foot shot, and he said there, swings it, scuffs it completely, but Ipswich recycle possession.
Oh, Leif Davis, left-hand corner of the area, steps away from Fatawu, plays the ball into the area, down goes Mehmeti, and he wants a penalty, and again the referee says nothing doing, and merely gives Leicester City a goal kick away to our left-hand side. What did you make of that, Perry Groves?
Great little reverse pass from Leif Davis. Mehmeti feels the challenge. It's Harry Winks who comes in, just goes off over far too easily. See, Harry Winks just tries to win the ball, but I don't think there's a lot of contact. It's a bit of a sloppy challenge actually from Harry Winks, but to be fair to John Busby, the referee, I have to say, Dan, who's refereed this game brilliantly. What was he, 5-6 yards away, and looked at it and went, not enough contact, get up. Again,
Most of the penalty incidents, he's been right on top of them. Swansea City lead 10-man Stoke by a goal to nil in the Championship, and their top scorer on the mark again, Zan Vipotnik, putting the Swans ahead. Bit of a mid-table battle that. 16th against 14th at the start of the day. Stoke just one win in 10 when they were right up there at Christmas time.
Won't be a mid-table battle next season, Dance, will it? 16th, you'd have every chance to get yourself into the top 8.
As the EFL clubs voted for more teams to participate in the end-of-season jamboree. Here's Calabacoli heading clear from the edge of his own penalty area. Fatawu forced back to his own dead ball line, manages to drive the ball clear, kept in play for Ipswich by Cedric Kipre. Now it's worked in field from the left-hand touchline to Dan Neal. Centre of the half is Matusiwa. Immediately closed down by Oliver Skipp. Goes out to the right-hand side for Ipswich, and Wes Burns having a drive at Luke Thomas. Hits the ball against Thomas. Corner kick at the Bobby Robson stand end for Ipswich Town, but Leicester one up.
They're just moving the ball a lot quicker down to Ipswich Town this second half, where they are stringing actually 4 or 5 passes together. Come up to Matusiwa, just rolls it out to Burn on that right hand side, tries to go on the outside of Thomas. Thomas does well, gets close to him, gets his block in. Corner for Ipswich over on their right.
Leif Davis is going to take it. MK Dons have really turned it around against Harrogate now. Harrogate are going to stay bottom. 3-1 to MK Aaron Collins. Here's Leif Davis with a corner, whips into the near post for Ipswich, and Leicester will clear it away, and then a clear obstruction from Marcelino Nunez as Mavididi tried to bring the ball clear down the left-hand side, and Nunez gets a yellow card for his trouble from the referee. But Leicester still have that all-important 1-0 lead that will take them out of the bottom 3 as things stand, unless West Brom go in front at Sheffield United.
We said about Leicester City, they haven't been over my dead body defending. Brilliant example how different they've been today, because Pereira wins the ball at the near post initially, comes out to Mavididi on the edge of the 18-yard box. He makes sure he gets to it first, gets it out of his feet, tries to sprint past Nunez. Looks like he's going to have a counter-attack. Nunez just runs across him, shoulders him to the ground. He gets a booking. That enables Leicester just to calm it down a little bit, because Ipswich have, say, been very high tempo in this second half so far, but Leicester have defended well.
Here's Harry Winks just over the halfway line, dispossessed, and Ipswich now come forward. Nunez plays an early ball to Mehmeti, left hand side, running at Akoli, plays the ball into the area down the left hand side. Wes Burns has come across to help out, clips it back to Davis, rolls his foot on the ball, sends the ball into the box, headed clear. Good defending from Luke Thomas, but Kipre first on the scene for Ipswich. Down the left-hand side again for the Welshman, Wes Burns. Right footed ball driven in volley clear by Akoli. This should calm Leicester fans down a bit. Sheffield United 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. An own goal from George Campbell has put the Blades ahead. And Luton are now 2-1 up at home to Reading. George Saville. They've come from behind Luton. Here's Leif Davis, lovely ball into the area. Mehmeti into the near post, and Akoli got something on it to keep it away from Azon at the near post, who was desperately hoping to turn it home. It's had to play for an Ipswich throw. Still Leicester lead 1-0.
Brilliant ball from Leif Davis on this left-hand side. Mehmeti just going on the underlap, get himself to the byline, couldn't quite get it to Azon. Brilliant defending from Akoli at his near post. Now it looks like finally Kieran McKenna, the Ipswich Town manager, is going to make his first substitution.
Jack Clark is ready and will be coming on, I assume, at the next break in play. Ball sent forward, well intercepted by Winks. Fatawu manages to work it up to the halfway line for Decordova-Reid, under pressure from Mehmeti. Mehmeti goes to ground, and Decordova-Reid stays on his feet. Oh, he tried to drive it in field for Daka, but he stubbed his toe. and Ipswich get it back. Matasuwa quickly drives it up to halfway. Nunez works it out to the right-hand side. Burns has got Azon making a run near post, goes across the 18-yard line. Think he was looking down the left-hand side for Davis, but it was robbed by Leicester, but Ipswich win it back. Nunez is going to go for goal from a long way out, and it skidded wide, and here comes the change for Ipswich, and it's Dan Neil that is making way for Jack Clark to come onto the field, and that's an attacking midfielder for ostensibly Perry Groves, a defensive one.
Yep, Jack Clark, so he's normally likes to play on the sort of the left-hand side, the right-hand side of the three. So it'll be interesting to see if it's Nunez who's going to drop a little bit deeper. Jack Clark come out on this left-hand side.
It just seemed like Nunez is going to drop just that little bit deeper, although they might just leave Matasuwa on his own there and go 4-1-4-1.
Yeah, but I think it looks like obviously Mehmete is going to go a little bit more central dance when he was on the left-hand side initially.
Bristol City are 2-0 down at home to Coventry, and Adam Randall's been sent off for the Robins as well. So it's all going Frank Lampard's way at Ashton Gate this afternoon in the Championship. Here at Portman Road, we played an hour on Talksport 2. It's still as it was just before half-time. Ipswich 0, Leicester 1. And Leicester in possession with Harry Winks. Down to the halfway line it goes. Fatawu skips inside Davis and runs infield. Tries to play a reverse ball. Came back to him via a ricochet. And now tries to play it down the right side of the box for Decordova-Reid. But that was intercepted by Davis. Now Clark getting involved for the first time. Plays it up to Mehmeti in the centre circle. Trying to spread play out to Azon on this near side of the left. But it was intercepted well by Harry Winks. Winks with some lovely quick feet. Gets away from Matasuwa. Down the left-hand side for Mavididi. Left-hand corner of the area. Winks is there again. Going to put a cross into the box, and it's comfortably cleared at the near post by Dara O'Shea. Doesn't get too much distance on the clearance. And then Skip elects to fire the ball all the way back to Stalacic, the keeper, in the midway point of his own half. Leicester 1 up.
Yeah, just Leicester trying to give themselves a little bit of a respite, because it's been all Ipswich Town in this second half. Harry Winks done brilliantly, little foot over in the centre circle, goes past Matasuwa, gets himself over the left-hand side, should be having a lofted cross, tries to whip it across 6-yard box. O'Shea's unable to just intercept it. Ipswich then recycle possession.
Gillingham 1, Fleetwood 0 in League 2. Seb Palmer Holden for Gillingham, who were looking for back-to-back wins. Here's Anis Mehmeti for Ipswich Town, trailing by a goal to 0 in front of their own. Wes Burns, right-hand corner of the area, has got Thomas backpedaling, gets it on the outside of it to Mehmeti, across the face of goal, and no one there in a blue shirt to turn it home, and it just dribbles out of play for a throw to Leicester in their right-back position. Big chance. Wes Burns got the space, found Mehmeti, but the ball across the face of goal didn't find a target. Leicester still lead 1-0 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, that's where Azon needs to be, in between the posts as a centre forward. Then you just ends up tapping the ball home. Brilliant play on the right hand side from Burns. Just gets into the 18-yard box. Just a little reverse pass the outside of his right foot. Mehmeti going on the overlap, skips past Harry Winks, rifles the ball across the 6-yard box. There's nobody there just to tap it in. That's where you need your centre forward. Gets a simple tap in from 2 yards.
Now Ricardo Pereira's taking his time over getting this throw-in back into play. Gets it back via a cushion header from Fatawu. Oh, it's hit against Jack Clark. It's dangerous this for Leicester. They can't get the ball clear from their own defensive third. Finally they might get the chance, but then again Ricardo Pereira doesn't get any distance on the clearance. Akoli just skies it just outside the 18-yard box, bounces, and no one can get an immediate touch, and then Azon does well, finds Nunez, toe pokes it out to Clark on the left-hand side, who'll keep it in play by the corner flag. Fatawu and Pereira to pressurise him. Leif Davis with a left-footed cross. Nelson with a header. Matasuwa urged to shoot from where he scored on Tuesday, but he won't. He'll send it out to the left-hand side, and Davis. Clark again works the ball in field for Nunez. Immediately closed down by Bobby Decordova-Reid. And back it goes to Kipre, who steps away from the goal scorer Daka. Kipre in the centre of the Leicester half. Azon goes down trying to turn away from Akoli. Again, claims for a free kick, quickly waved away from the referee. Leicester hit it long downfield, but Ipswich recover possession. 64 minutes gone on your home of the EFL Talksport 2, and it is still Ipswich 0, Leicester 1. Nunez, ball down the centre of the field. Azon brings it down beautifully just outside the area, but gets the shot all wrong, and it screws wide for another Leicester goal kick away to our left. Perry Groves.
There's a great spotter's badge there from Nunes in the quarterback position. Just lofts it over the top of Okoli. It's a great first touch initially from Azon, and the ball just drops out the sky. Velvet Slippers just cushions it, but then his second touch takes it behind him. He should just roll it out to Mehmeti. He thinks he can get his shot curl past Solacek, just slice it completely, misses target by about 7 yards. Goal kick for Leicester City.
Smacked downfield by Stolarczyk. Might be headed on by Daka, and was, but straight down the throat of Leif Davis, who half volleys it back over halfway. But Okoli there with a good strong defensive header for Leicester. Daka's gone down on halfway under pressure from Kipre. The referee's not interested. Clark on this near side. Okoli there again with good strong defending for Leicester City. Then Fatai was fouled by Azon. Free kick to Leicester, and the frustration continues to build around Portman Road. With 25 minutes to go, Ricardo Pereira takes the free kick short for Harry Winks. Now Ben Nelson. Out to the fair-haired Luke Thomas. Just slides the ball down the left-hand side, but nobody there in the pink Leicester shirts. And so Ipswich have it back. What have you spotted, Perry?
No, just there with Luke Thomas. He didn't have anybody to pass to because Daka was central and he should be making a run out to left-hand side. Therefore, instead of just pass it down that left touch, he should actually fire it down the left touch line into the channel, and then that gives Leicester a chance to push a little bit further up the pitch, because say in this second half, for this first 20 minutes, it's been all Ipswich. Leicester really haven't been able to get out like they did in the first half, because Ipswich are playing with far more tempo, and it's done them a favour of Nunes dropping a little bit deeper.
Leif Davis for Ipswich, left hand side, level with the 18-yard line, played the ball in field. It did get to Nunes eventually, but Decordova-Reid almost took it clear. Just couldn't hold on to it, Bobby Decordova-Reid, but Leicester do have a throw. So the latest scores in the Championship: Bristol City 0, the leaders, Coventry 2. Both teams have had men sent off. Charlton 0, Birmingham 0. Derby 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Sheffield United 1, West Brom 0. And Swansea 1, 10-man Stoke 0. And earlier today, Blackburn and Portsmouth, late goals there from either side. It was a 1-1 draw. Very nearly a big win for Portsmouth, but Hayden Carter with a late equaliser for Blackburn. And Millwall went third after winning 3-1 at Hull City. Heard that game live on Talksport 2. Here come Leicester, 1-0 up and pushing forward with Luke Thomas up to the edge of the area. Took the shot and it smacked into the stomach of Dara O'Shea. And he had options left and right there, Luke Thomas. Didn't take them.
Yeah, he should have just rolled it out to Mavididi on that left-hand side.
Meanwhile, here comes Azon down the other end for Ipswich, down the left wing. Level with the 18-yard line. Elects to roll it back 10 yards or so for Jack Clark, who schemes his way in field up to the edge of the area. Rides one challenge, but runs into Calabacoli, who just puts a no-nonsense clearance out of play. And a former Leicester player is going to be brought on by Kieran McKenna. In fact, a double change. Sindra Eggerly's coming on, but so too is George Hurst, who only ever made 2 appearances for Leicester way back in 2020. Came here initially on loan from the Foxes, George Hurst, and he is part of the rescue package that is about to be sent on from Kieran McKenna. Meantime, the 2 players I thought might be starting today for Leicester are now coming on. Jordan James and Divine Makassa will be on shortly as well for the visitors. On halfway, Jack Clark gets pushed over by Fatawu. Free kick. So are both clubs going to make changes now that the play's been stopped? Certainly appears that Leicester are making their changes. And it's a straight swap up front. It is Hurst for Azon in the attacking areas for Ipswich. And then Eggerly for Burns down Ipswich's right. Again, is a like-for-like switch. Not expecting any change in formation there, Perry.
No. Say Hurst will go up front. Looking for a little bit of art from him. See him get himself on the ball, paint a few pictures.
Nice try. 4-1 to MK Dons now against Harrogate. Remember, Harrogate took the lead, the bottom club, but Ben Wiles got the 4th for MK. Leicester just holding off on making their substitutions. Didn't make them at the same time, so Makassa and James wait just beneath us as Dara O'Shea hits a diagonal ball looking for Leif Davis. Headed out for a throw-in by Ricardo Pereira. Just over 20 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Jack Clark for Ipswich, needing a goal. It's driven goals and deflected wide for a corner kick. Clark just fancied having a shy at goal. and it took a deflection off the legs of Ricardo Pereira. Had Stolarczyk wrong-footed, but it went about a yard the other side of the post. Corner kick.
Yeah, the barometer's going up, dance, as the pressure increases. Little flicking from Nunes into Jack Clark. Gets the ball on his right foot. Really good block from Pereira. Puts his body on the line, goes out for a corner for Ipswich on the left-hand side.
Well, they're going to make the changes, are Leicester, defending a corner, which is always something that makes me feel a little bit unsettled if I was a fan of a club that was making changes at a corner. But Steffi Mavididi is making way for one change, and Bobby Decordova-Reid is the other player being substituted. Jordan James, just back from injury, is on. He got a few minutes against Norwich in the home defeat last weekend. And Divine Mikasa, this kid from the Manchester City Academy, has already scored a couple since pitching up at Leicester City for his first ever loan out. 2 goals in 6 appearances. So he's on. But James and Mikasa have got to defend a corner here.
You know, as a player as well, Dan, you don't be coming on when you're defending a corner. Do you know what I mean? When obviously you've got to get yourself into the tempo of the game, get your blood pumping around your body.
20 minutes to go. In comes the corner from Nunez. It's headed across the face of goal and then volley clear by a combination of Mikasa and Fatawu. Both between them managed to get it right the way downfield. So 20 minutes to go. Leicester still 1-0 up on Talksport 2. O'Shea wins the flick on Clark down the left-hand side of the penalty area. He's got 2 Leicester players around him. One of them's Fatawu, who fouled him, and it's a free kick to Ipswich right down by the corner flag at the Bobby Robson stand end down to our left.
It's ridiculous play there from Fatawu, because Clark's not going anywhere. He's facing the touchline right in the corner, and then what you want the opposition player to foul you. So Fatawu does that, and he gives a free kick away in a really dangerous position for Ipswich Town.
Well, he's put down the shaving foam there as the referee, but for the moment there was no Leicester player interested in standing behind it until Harry Winks decided.
I'll do you a favour, I won't make you look silly. I'll go and actually stand on the white line.
Nunez with his free kick into the near post and headed behind for a corner kick. It was Pereira that got the touch. Furlong was flying in at the near post, trying to get something on it, so the pressure continues from Ipswich Town. Fans trying to get behind their team, trying to give them a second wind. Leicester still manfully holding on to this 1-0 lead they got about 6 minutes from half-time. Nunez to strike it where the main stand meets the Bobby Robson away to our left-hand side. Couple of Leicester players lurking at the edge of the area. In it comes from Nunez, caught quite comfortably under his crossbar by Stolarczyk. 1-0 Leicester.
Yeah, just too floated there from Nunez. Got to make sure you get a little bit more whip on it. Just puts a little 9-iron up. Easy catch for Stolarczyk. And if that's going to happen as well, Dan, you need the nuisance around the goalkeeper. Stop Stolarczyk coming out and picking it out of the air. That's exactly what he did.
Matasiwa under pressure from Jordan James will guide the ball back to Christian Walton, who had to awkwardly volley the ball clear with James closing down the space. And then Furlong skies it into the centre circle. Hurst went down, so too did Akoli. And Hurst is quickly to his feet, but Harry Winks brings it away for Leicester City. Getting out of the bottom 3 with the scores as they are. Remember, West Bromwich Albion, they're a goal down at Sheffield United through that George Campbell own goal. And so Leicester doing themselves a power of good here this afternoon, at least so far.
You can let Leicester dance. Mikasa just go and play in that 10 position, like for Decordova-Reid. And Jordan James go on the left side of the 3 behind Patterson Daka.
Shrewsbury have turned it around. Chesterfield 1, Shrewsbury 2 in League 2. Shrewsbury have been on a very good run before losing last time out. I think they were 5 wins in a row before their defeat last time out. But they lead up there in the East Midlands, South Yorkshire. What do we call Chesterfield? It's sort of Derbyshire, isn't it? Kind of.
Up north.
Up north, thank you. Newport 0, Colchester 1. Oh, he's offside. Must be. Harry Anderson for Colchester.
Oh, it's a fairy tale.
Not Harry, no. Doesn't work with Harry.
Well, Anderson, it does.
No, it doesn't work with Harry.
Does.
No, it doesn't.
H. Anderson.
17 minutes to go. Talksport 2, you're home with the EFL. Ipswich, desperate, increasingly desperate, trying to find a route back into this game. Leicester City still lead through Patson Daka's very well taken left-footed effort 6 minutes from half-time. But Ipswich have a free kick, midway point of the Leicester half. Out on the right-hand side for Marcelino Nunez to swing in. O'Shea making a run to the back post. He's going to get his head on that. Heads it across the face of goal, and it's turned goalwards, but a comfortable save for Stolarczyk. Darnell Furlong and Matassi with the two players, or Skipre rather, with the two players flying in on it. Neither could get the right connection, and Leicester survive again.
It's a complete mismatch at the far post, because it's Oliver Skipp who's trying to pick up Dara O'Shea. Dara O'Shea is one of Ipswich Town's best headers. Why don't they just swap it around? Why don't Carlio Nelson, one of the Leicester centre-halves, say, right, I'll go and pick him up, stop him getting the first contact. That's the third time this happened from set pieces where Skip's trying to pick up O'Shea.
On halfway, Cedric Kipre fires the ball into the feet of Hurst, who tried to guide it out to Davis. Okoli gets 2 touches on the ball to get it clear. But it's won back by Nunez. Out to Jack Clark on this left-hand side. Schemes infield to the left-hand corner of the box. Chips the ball into the area. Brilliant defending, Luke Thomas. But it stays in front. What a block from Okoli to deny Mehmeti. But it's driven in by Egeli. Finally, the Leicester resistance is broken. And it's Sindre Egeli, the substitute, who fired the ball in for the right-hand side of the area. It looked like Leicester had cleared their lines, but the youngster was not to be denied. And it's all square as we move into the last section of this game. Ipswich are level. It's Ipswich 1, Leicester 1.
Dan's it all starts because Jack Clark just feeds the ball into the 18-yard box from that left-hand side of his right foot. Leicester put their bodies on the line. It's like a scene from Platoon. They get the first 2 blocks in, then it comes out to Egeli as the ball bounces up with his left foot. He just puts his laces through the ball with his left foot, gives Stolarczyk absolutely no chance, low down to his left-hand side to put Ipswich Town back level 1-1 here at Portman Road against Leicester City.
His 4th goal for Ipswich since he joined from Nordjylland back in August. And now this place feels a little different. There's just less than a quarter of an hour left on Talksport 2. Here come Ipswich with Mehmeti. Hurst in front. Oh, that's well claimed at his near post by Stolarczyk as Hurst was ghosting in just inside the area. Luke Thomas looks up and fires the ball downfield looking for Daka. O'Shea should get there first and does. But Daka still pressurising him, goes out of play for a throw in, taken quickly by O'Shea back to his goalkeeper. And now there's a roar as forward come Leicester. Charlton lead Birmingham by a goal to 0. Charlie Kelman puts the Addicts in front at the Valley. And it's 1-1 here with 13 minutes to go. Kipre finds O'Shea. Now out to the right-hand side. And it's Darnell Furlong, pressurised by James. So Leicester are going to find their way back into this game again. They're still getting a point. And the point, as things stand, will still be enough to take them out of the bottom 3 on goal difference from both Oxford and West Brom. They'd all be on 35 points as things stand.
Well, don't you have to say it's been all Ipswich Town in this second half.
And here's Egeli, the goal scorer, lofting the ball into the area, looking for Davis. Good defending by Ricardo Pereira with a header, but it comes back to Jack Clark, left-hand corner of the box, runs into Fatawu. And he clears the ball down the right, but it's only as far as Nunez. Can he keep it in play? Yes. And Nunez rolls it infield to Masasiwa, centre of the Leicester half. Just to his right is Furlong. Little short pass to Mehmeti. On the overlap now is Egeli to the dead ball line. Doesn't cross first time. He's got Thomas back-pedalling. Then he gets a foot in, Thomas. Driven across goal by Mehmeti. And then Winks will feed it out of the penalty area to find Patson Daka. No support at the moment for the Leicester number 20. Now he rolls it back to Winks. Spots the run of Jordan James down the left-hand side. James up against Mehmeti. Rolls it back to Winks once again. Leicester just calming things down. Short pass between Winks and Skip. And then Winks looks for Daka. Touches it down for Mukasa. Tries to lob it back into the path of Patson Daka. And Clark is fouled. Quite clever actually from Jack Clark. Just waited for the challenge from Ricardo Pereira and went down and wins the free kick. 12 to go. 1-1.
Yeah, you have to say from Kieran McKenna's point of view, I was critical. I thought he should run his subs at half-time.
Now Leif Davis making a really strong run down the left-hand side. A long ball over the top. Can he keep it in play? Right down by the corner flag. He can. Faced up by Ricardo Pereira. Rolls it back 10 yards to Jack Clark. Clark in field for Nunez, approaching the 18-yard line. Chips the ball into the area. Hurst brings it down on his chest, but a heavy touch that allows Skip just to hoof it clear O'Shea heads it back towards the edge of the Leicester penalty area. More head tennis. This time Okoli gets a piece of it. So too does Fatawu, who was fouled by Nunez. Free kick to Leicester City. 1 apiece on Talksport 2 with just over 10 minutes to play. You're listening to EFL Live here on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m. 18 plus fees apply to delivery orders. Subject to availability. Price may vary. Newport 0, Colchester 2. Jack Payne with a second for Colchester in League 2. Barnsley 2, Exeter 1. Exeter's top scorer Jaden Wareham gets a goal back for the Grecians, and Bradford are back in front at home to Leyton Orient through another one from Anthony Sarcevic, and Plymouth lead against Doncaster. Herbie Kane makes it Plymouth 2, Doncaster 1. You're up to date on Talksport 2 with the goals that they've gone in around the country. FA Cup football to come tonight on Talksport with Wrexham Chelsea and then Newcastle United Manchester City. 5:45 the Wrexham Chelsea game kicks off. Gary Rowett just urging a bit of calm from his Leicester players. 10 minutes to go, and I would say it's anybody's game, but Leicester have got to find a different way to approach this game because they've been in more of a defensive mode. But they've got players out there now, Perry, like Mukasa and James, who are much more forward thinking. But now they've got some defending to do because Mehmeti on halfway spins and feeds it down the left hand side for Jack Clark in the area, pulls it across the face of goal. That's brilliant defending from Nelson this time to get it clear. Hamza Chowdhury's ready to come on for Leicester City. Down the left-hand side it goes for Ipswich. Mehmeti, right-footed ball into the area, straight onto the head of Okoli. Head tennis at the edge of the area. Poor touch from James. Thomas tries to head clear. Mukasa very calmly robs the ball off Eggerly. But then Eggerly, good work from the young Norwegian, wins it back. And Ipswich send it forward. Mehmeti tucks it back to Nunez, centre of the Leicester half. Hurst trying to turn at the edge of the area. Brilliant challenge, Caleb Okoli. And away come Leicester. Jordan Ayew going to be coming on as well as Chowdhury for another double change that Gary Rowett wants to make.
Yeah, Leicester needs some legs in midfield, Dance. I think it might be Oliver Skipp who comes off because Harry Winks is trying to get himself on the ball, and just try and calm everyone down a little bit. They need to just release the pressure. To be fair to Ipswich, say they've been far more intense in this second half. Hurst has come on, he's given them a focal point up front, and when you're making your substitutions, you want them to have an impact, and that's what Ipswich had. It was a cross from Jack Clark, and then Eggerly actually finished it off.
Chowdhury's coming on for Ricardo Pereira. It is a straight swap up front with Ayew for Daka. I mean, Chowdhury has played as a fullback before. Maybe that's the intention. He just goes straight into that position, Hamza Chowdhury. But those are the two changes made. Daka and Pereira off. Chowdhury and Ayew on. And Chowdhury's first job is to take a throw bang on halfway for Leicester, down beneath our commentary position. 7.5 minutes of normal time to go on Talksport 2. Ipswich Town 1, Leicester City 1. Ball skied in the air by Cedric Kipre. Bounces in the area, might break here for Ayew. Can he pull it back from the dead ball line? He can, but he fizzed it so fast across goal. There was nobody in Leicester pink that could get a touch on it.
Yeah, it's a really poor clearance initially from Kipre. Just sliced it up in the air. Jordan Ayew got onto the knockdown, got to the byline, and he just tried to drill it across the 6-yard box. Mukasa couldn't quite get himself in the centre forward position.
Hurst for Ipswich plays a 1-2 with Eggerly, tries to break down the right-hand side, but Nelson gets between man and ball and guides it back to his keeper. Motherwell equalise at Dundee in the one Scottish Premiership game this afternoon. 1-1 Callum Slattery. And Notts County equalise at Walsall in League 2. That's 1-1 Ollie Norburn. Ipswich win it back. Halfway point of the Leicester half. Mehmeti can't get past Oliver Skipp, and he'll find Harry Winks. And he just uses quick feet again to get away from Nunez. Guide it out to the left-hand side. Mukasa was trying to release Ayew with the ball down the left-hand side, but it was intercepted. And here come Ipswich again. Anis Mehmeti up towards the edge of the area. He's carried it all the way. Drive it goal was blocked by Caleb Okoli. And then Nunez got the ball taken off his toe by Jordan James coming back to help out. And now James bursts up towards the halfway line, but a heavy touch allows Matosiwa to win it back. It's frantic stuff here. Frantic at Portman Road. Jack Clark losing out to Chowdhury, who's forcing him back to the halfway line. It's a free kick. And Chowdhury stands in front of the ball. He will get a yellow card if he's not careful. And another double change coming up, Perry, for Ipswich Town. Jack Taylor, who you wanted to see, he's coming on. And so too is Chuba Akpom. And Mehmeti and Nunez are the players being withdrawn here, Perry.
Yeah, I think they're just a little bit too late. I'd have brought them on earlier, but they've probably got like 5 minutes of normal time and a little bit of added on time. So it's whether either of them, Akpom or Taylor, can have that effect on the game, get that little bit of creativity. You want to get Taylor on the ball a little bit deeper. Akpom, be interested to see if he goes in behind Hurst or actually goes up front with Hurst as a front two.
And he's just waiting to get the nod from the fourth official. He's on. Rochdale towards the top of the National League, take a late lead at home to Boston United through Tyler Smith. 1-1 here, 5 minutes of normal time to go. The ball's rolled back from Taylor, having just come on to Kipre. Now O'Shea out to Darnell Furlong, bang on the halfway line.
Yeah, Taylor just come a little bit deeper alongside Matasiwa, so he can get himself on the ball, get a little bit of creativity, and Akpom will just go on the right hand side of Hurst.
And those fresh legs of Leicester trying to pressurise Ipswich as they try and bring the ball clear. Neat chest down from Jordan James to Abdul Fattawu. He tried to do what he did at the King Power against Christian Walton, but that attempted shot from inside his own half nearly hit the corner flag at the other end.
That's, normally that would be a really good idea, but Walton was actually on his own 6-yard box. There's no way. And when it came to Fattawu, he was actually in the centre circle in his own half.
Yes, lightning did not strike twice on that occasion.
It's a little bit over-ambitious.
Taylor for Ipswich. Reading have equalised at Luton. They were 1-0 up and 2-1 down, but Kelvin Ehebachiman gets his second of the afternoon to level things for the Royals at Kenilworth Road. 1-1 here as Eggerly, Ipswich's goal scorer, drifts in from the right-hand side up to the edge of the area, just wouldn't stick with Darnell Furlong, cleared away looking for Ayew to make a run for Leicester down the centre of the pitch, but it's well away from him. O'Shea retrieves the loose ball, asking players to come close to him, give him an option. Gives it to Matasiwa, slides it into Taylor, wins a free kick off Ben Nelson, just turned his man just by the centre circle. Leicester concede a free kick, 1-1 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, good play from Matasiwa, just driving it into Jack Taylor, does really well, gets himself side on, lets the ball roll across his body, gets the free kick.
Eggerly down the right hand side, puts the ball into the area. Davis at the far post, well defended by Chowdhury, and Fattawu should complete the clearance, hitting it against Jack Clark in the end and winning a throw-in for Leicester City.
Brilliant defending from Chowdhury. Dance, obviously he's normally a midfield player, he's finding himself in a strange vision in the right back area. You've got to make sure when it comes into the far post you get your header in first, exactly what he does.
In fact, he's been given us a goal kick, the ball must have gone out. And Stolarczyk's got to be careful. There was a yellow card issued in the first half for a bit of time wasting over goal kicks. Well, a corner was awarded for holding on to the ball for too long, so he's testing the referee's patience here, but he will clear downfield. Chesterfield 2, Shrewsbury 2. Tom Pearce equalises for the Spyrites. Here come Ipswich at 1-1. Taylor got a huge set of man on because Ayew was right behind him, but it managed to work its way out to Eggerly. Furlong on the overlap right hand side. He's used by Eggerly to the dead ball line, pulls it back and it's touched behind for a corner. They tried to claim it wasn't a corner, did the Leicester players, but it's been awarded by the assistant right on that far side. Had a perfect view as we tick round to 88 minutes gone. Perry Groves 1-1.
Yeah, just a little bit too much on the pass here from Eggerly as Furlong goes on the overlap. Just needs to roll it into his path, puts a little bit too much pace on it. To be fair to Furlong, he actually gets to the byline and he's losing his balance, tries to get his cross in. Thomas gets the block in, corner for Ipswich over on their right hand side.
And Leicester have gone back into the bottom three because West Brom have equalised at Sheffield United through the man that got the own goal, George Campbell. Corner for Ipswich, drifted to the far post, nodded down in front of goal. Where's he going to drop? Inside the 6-yard box, it's pinballing and somehow goes wide for another corner kick. Well, the Blue Shirts just couldn't get the shot in. There were so many Leicester players back defending their own 6-yard box. They managed to smuggle it clear for a corner.
Danch, that all starts again. Oliver Skipp is the one who's trying to pick up Dar O'Shea on the far post. it's ridiculous. You've got set-piece coaches now. He should be swapped over. O'Shea gets a knockdown. You said there, it's like a pinball. There's 4 or 5 Ipswich players trying to get round it. In the end, Leicester do really well, make sure they go and attack the ball. Then it just ricochets out for a corner for Ipswich on their right-hand side.
Which they can't take yet because Joe Aribo is coming on as a last substitute for Leicester, replacing Abdul Fattawu, former Rangers man Joe Aribo, on loan from Southampton. And again, he's coming on as other Leicester substitutes have this afternoon when they've got a corner to defend. Kelvin Ahibachiman hat-trick for Reading. Luton 2, Reading 3. Corner to Ipswich at the Bobby Robson stand-in. Floated in by Davis. O'Shea heads it back across the face of goal and onto the roof of the net. And we head towards added time. Same thing again. But it ends up being a goal kick for Leicester, and we'll find out shortly just how much added time there's going to be on Talksport 2. 1-1.
I think my head's going to explode, Dance. Again, it's a ball that is fed in from Davis from that right-hand side. In swing with his left foot. Who's marking O'Shea? Skip. Again, O'Shea gets the header to it. Can't quite get the header back down, goes over the crossbar. But it just baffles me that Leicester haven't changed that around and put someone else on Dara O'Shea, who's the best header of the ball for Ipswich.
As we move into 5 minutes of minimum added time at the end of this championship game. 1-1 on Talksport 2. Is there to be a winner? It's Ipswich who've been asking most of the questions, certainly in this second half, and they've got themselves level. Gillingham 1, Fleetwood 1. Sean Rooney equalises in added time for Fleetwood. Bolton get a goal back at home to Wycombe, but it's Bolton 1, Wycombe 2. Ruben Rodriguez. Dundee retake the lead in Scotland against high-flying Motherwell. And Bristol Rovers equalise at home to Crewe. That's 1-1 at the Mem. Added time at Portman Road. Matosiwa, the hero of Tuesday night for Ipswich, works it out to the left-hand side and Leif Davis. Jack Clark tries to get Davis going on the underlap. Jordan James goes with him, shows good strength in the shoulder charge and gets the ball clear. Chested down by Ayew. Tries to get it back from Harry Winks, but it breaks for Ipswich. Jack Taylor spins away from Oliver Skipp. And then it's worked wide down the right-hand side by Akpom for Egerle. And now Darnell Furlong gives it back to O'Shea. A minute and a half of the minimum 5 have gone. Schubert Akpom again. Plays the ball into the feet of Matosiwa. Tries to spin away from Skipp. Fires it into the edge of the area. Almost gave the chance for George Hurst to turn and head goalwards, but the touch wasn't right. Ball up to halfway. Doesn't stick with Divine Macassa for Leicester either. So Ipswich have it back. It's with Dara O'Shea. Seeing a lot of the ball, the Ipswich centre-back. Floating it out to Leif Davis on this left-hand side. Cushion header down for Jack Clark. Immediately faced up by Jordan James. Again, Davis on the overlap. Pulls it back. Struck just wide by Akpom. Corner kick. It might have been on target from Chuba Akpom, but there was a Leicester leg in there to turn it behind for a corner. 1-1.
Yeah, Dance, really good play for Ipswich down there. Left-hand side, great little ball from Jack Clark into Leif Davis. Just comes to Akpom. He thinks he's actually shot past Solarchek. In the end, it's a really good block. It looks like it's Nelson where it's come off his heel. Goes out for a corner for Ipswich on their left-hand side.
Right-footed in-swinger to come from Jack Clark. Cluster of players just next to the penalty spot. A lot of zonal marking from Leicester inside their 6-yard box. And it's Jack Clark who's preparing to take it. In it comes deep to the far post. O'Shea heads it across the face of goal, and Nelson's there again. This time to head it behind for another Ipswich corner as they try and turn the screw late on here. Ipswich desperate for a goal that would take them second.
Really good defending from Nelson. Got to make sure that your centre half stand up and be count. Exactly what he did again. It's O'Shea at the far post, gets his header back across the 6-yard box. Nelson makes sure that he stays zonal. Heads it when it comes into his own. Another corner for Ipswich over on their right-hand side.
Leif Davis to take it, left-footed in, swing it again. A clutch of players around the penalty spot. Davis takes it to the far post. O'Shea heads goalwards, but straight at Stolarczyk, who can make a comfortable save. And it stays 1-1 on Talksport 2 with 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time to go. Bristol Rovers have turned it around at home to Crewe Alexandra. Tommy Lee with a stoppage time winner maybe for the Gas. Bristol Rovers 2, Crewe Alexandra 1. Long ball downfield for Ipswich, bit desperate there. Ben Nelson, who's put some important blocks in the last couple of minutes, gets it clear for the Foxes. Bolton equalise at home to Wycombe Wanderers. Mason Burstow makes it 2-2. And now Leicester coming forward. Jordan Ayew down the left-hand side of the penalty area. O'Shea just gets himself in front of his man and nods it back to Christian Walton. Ipswich trying to bring the ball clear. Clark is fouled by Jordan James. That's going to be a yellow card for the Leicester substitute. Swindon Town look like they've won it at Lowly Crawley. They've come from behind Swindon. Billy Bowden making it Crawley 1, Swindon 2. Free kick to Ipswich, just shy of the halfway line. We're into the last minute of minimum stoppage time. Now or never.
This is the last chance saloon dance. Walton, Ipswich Town goalkeeper, is going to make sure that he's just going to fire this in Ipswich inside his own half.
Leicester holding it as high a line as they dare, as it's floated forward by Walton to the right-hand corner of the box. O'Shea wins the first header. Nelson wins the second for Leicester to get it clear. Swansea 2-0 upon Stoke. Here is O'Shea whipping a deep cross in. Down goes Matusiwa. And Kipre desperate for a penalty. And he's got a yellow card, Kipre, for going right into the referee's face to complain that a penalty was not given. Sign of the frustration around this stadium. Yellow card for the centre-half. And Leicester may well have done enough to grab a point to take back to the East Midlands.
And the ball's ripped in for that right-hand side.
Kieran McKenna's incandescent with rage.
Yes, it's Chowdhury. It's coming together with Kipre on first looks. Dance. It looks like Chowdhury's shoulder him in the back just to knock him off the ball. To be fair, John Busby, the referee, had a good look at it. Say Kieran McKenna's gone absolutely apoplectic with rage. He's just come out of his, which isn't the biggest technical area in the world, Dan, to be fair, so it's not difficult, is it, to come out of it? But he's not very happy because he's looking straight down the barrel on first looks, Dance. I wouldn't have been surprised if that was actually given, because Chowdhury's eats Kipre off the ball. You can see Kipre's frustration, the way that he retaliated, shouted at the referee. And John Busby says, I haven't given the penalty, don't come running at me. Have a yellow card, and then he books Kieran McKenna.
Ball's not back in play yet. We've played the minimum 5, and the referee will put his whistle to his lips, and boos ring around Portman Road, not necessarily for the fact that Ipswich Town have dropped 2 points here. They will not go second in the championship table. It's all about the referee denying them what they thought was a legitimate penalty in added time. But for Leicester, it may not be a first win for Gary Rowett quite yet. But that's a third precious point on the road since he's come into the club. And it may not take them out the bottom 3. In fact, as things stand, with West Brom drawing at Sheffield United, it does not take them out the bottom 3. But how precious could that point prove to be for the Foxes come the end of the season? They led for such a long time in this game through Pat Sandaka's goal 6 minutes from half-time, sweeping home Luke Thomas's free kick. As I look on, Kieran McKenna in the centre circle, wanting to have a word with the referee, and the referee and his 2 assistants are the centres of attention here. They don't want to be. The Leicester City players just going to their fans over in the far corner, and well, Kieran McKenna, the referee and his 2 assistants have to backpedal away from the centre circle because Kieran McKenna is not having it. Finally, he moves away to thank his supporters for getting involved. They did get an equaliser, did Ipswich Town. Sindra Egley on as a substitute, driving the ball after havoc was caused inside the Leicester penalty area. And there's about 6 stewards who are helping the referee, John Busby, and his assistants leave the field. I mean, wow.
It's ridiculous, Dan. It's absolutely ridiculous. I know the Ipswich Town fans are frustrated. I know that the coaching staff are frustrated. I know that the players are frustrated. But this is going to be now blamed on the referee that Ipswich have drawn 1-1, right? The referee actually refereed the game, I thought, really well up until that last incident where it looked like to me that it might have been a foul on Kipre from Chowdhury. We haven't got, the ability to see the replays from different angles. But Ipswich Town fans don't want to let that cloud that the reason that they've drawn this game 1-1 is because they were poor in the first half. Leicester were the better side in the first half. Ipswich were the better side in the second half, went on the front foot, but they can't play in the championship where you have different intensities and different tempos in 2 halves because the teams are too good. Even Leicester have come here and fought for their lives. The Leicester fans are just going out over on the far side and clapping their fans quite rightly. The Leicester fans will be absolutely delighted because that's how Leicester players have to play now until the end of the season in every single game, and not just the away games. They've got to have cojones at home games as well, which they didn't have against Norwich City. But this was a brilliant championship game today, Dan. Absolutely brilliant.
It was 100 mile an hour, and it was very nearly 3 points for Leicester City. But Ipswich got themselves level. As things stand, Ipswich only 2 points behind Middlesbrough, but on the same number of games played. 66 for Middlesbrough, who play tomorrow. Ipswich 64. Millwall in between them in third on 65 points. And at the other end of the table, they're still playing at Bramall Lane. It's still 1-1 between Sheffield United and West Brom. And if West Brom get that point, they will keep Leicester in the bottom three by 1 point. West Brom will be 36 from 36. Indeed, that is now full time in South Yorkshire. So Leicester 35 points from 36, level with Oxford, who are just beneath them in 23rd. So huge ramifications for this scoreline at both ends of the championship table. It's finished in the end at Portman Road. Ipswich Town 1, Leicester City 1.
Oh, another cracker that we've brought you on Talksport 2. Leicester surviving what turned out to be an onslaught from Ipswich, but it's a potentially vital point for Leicester as they look to get themselves out of the mess that they find themselves in, the bottom three of the championship table. Let's speak more to Perry Groves then about this result. And at the end of the day, it doesn't alter things for Leicester as to where they are in the table. They're still in the relegation zone. But do you think that will feel like a much mightier point for them than it will be for Ipswich?
Oh, by a million miles, Nat, because Ipswich could have gone in second position, then the day up in fourth, because obviously they thought, Ipswich Town fans probably thought this would be a bit of a rollover them today because Leicester haven't been in particularly great form. And from Leicester's point of view, it's about momentum. If you look at the 4 games that Gary Rowett's had in charge, 3 of them have been really difficult away games: Stoke, Middlesbrough and Ipswich, and they've drawn all 3, which, especially coming here today as well. Ipswich have been the form team, they'd won their last 3 on the trot in the championship. So they have to make sure this is not just a one-off. This is like the grit and determination that Leicester players show. They have to carry this in the rest of the season, and especially in the home games as well, because you're under more pressure at home, obviously, because the emphasis used to go on attack. But I have to say, in the first half, Leicester were really good. They were positive, they were on the front foot, they didn't sit deep. In the second half, the momentum changed. You knew that Ipswich were going to come out, and they were going to be more tempo about the game. Exactly was. They passed the ball a lot quicker, they got the ball forward a lot earlier, and in the end it's whether Leicester could have just hung on. Unfortunately they couldn't, because Egley got obviously the equalising goal. But you'd have to say, on balance, the draw was probably just about the right result.
Which will, as we've just said, be massive then for Leicester to take into 2 consecutive home games that they've got coming up. Bristol City on Tuesday, followed by QPR. As for Ipswich, they might well feel a little bit wounded by not coming away with all 3 points, despite the fact that they were quite dominant in that second half. And you look at their fixtures, Perry, they've got 2 away trips, Stoke and Sheffield Wednesday, before they host Millwall. And that already feels like quite a humdinger of a game.
Yeah, very much so. Stoke obviously is an easy place to go. No. Sheffield Wednesday, you would say, that was, if Ipswich's attitude is right, they should be getting 3 points from that. And then Millwall on the 21st of March at 12:30 kickoff, which is going to be a proper test, because Millwall test you physically. They test you in every single way. So again, it's still, Ipswich got their game in hand. It is still in their hands, automatic promotion, because they got Middlesbrough to play as well, and they got Millwall to play. But this will be, I think Kieran McKenna will say that he's delighted with the second half performance. I just hope that he doesn't say that he can't believe that they didn't win the game because the referee hasn't given a penalty at the end of, in the added on time, where it looked like Chowdhury might have just shouldered Kipper and his back. That's not the reason that Ipswich Town drew this game. So don't try and deflect it onto the referee, John Busby, because I thought he had actually a really good game overall. It wasn't easy. There was loads of tackles flying in. It was a bit sort of gritty. So there might be a deflection from Kieran McKenna, Ipswich manager. But I thought as well he could have made substitutions a lot earlier. But I thought he didn't make a substitution on the hour mark, where when you've got your 5 subs, if it's not working in the first half, I think it's a manager's job to say, right, I'm going to try and change this and I'll make 2 at half time. He didn't do that.
And ultimately, looking at the stats, the goalkeeper, Leicester goalkeeper, only had 2 shots to make, which goes to show that he wasn't really tested.
No, to be fair, Ipswich got balls into the box in the second half, but Leicester put their body. Okoli and Nelson defended really, really well. The thing that I couldn't get, which blew my mind, is that Dara O'Shea is the best header of the ball for Ipswich. From every corner and every free kick, it was Oliver Skipper was trying to pick him up, and he got 5 free headers, but they didn't win the first one, they won the second one. The only time they didn't do it is when Egley scored, where the ball's come in from the left-hand side, brilliant cross from, I think it was Clark, and as the ball just drops to Furlong, he gets his header, then it comes out, it drops to Egley, and then he smashes it with his left foot, and he gives Solarczyk absolutely no chance. That was one of the few times where Leicester didn't get to the knockdown, but other than that, I think that Gary Rowett was critical of his team defensively against Norwich, said they didn't put their bodies on the line. Today they did.
Yeah, we certainly did see that. Perry, it's time now to pick our man of the match with McDonald's.
Man of the match on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. The Big Arch is here to stay at McDonald's with its very own delicious sauce. Available from 11 a.m, subject to availability, price and participation may vary.
So it all comes down to you, Perry. Who do you think was the standout player?
Well, I think it's got to go to Leicester City player, Nat, to be fair, because they've come here, they've defended really well. It's a toss of a coin between Okoli, Nelson and Harry Winks, and I'm normally fairly critical of Harry Winks and Oliver Skipp, but I think Harry Winks showed leadership qualities today. He got himself on the ball, he tried to calm it down in the second half, but when you're coming away from home, you need your goalkeeper and your centre halves to play, really well. And I thought Ben Nelson, the centre half for Leicester City, I thought he was outstanding. I thought that he headed it when he came to his area. He made sure whether it's Azon up front or Hurst up front that he was on the front foot. He was getting, blocks in. He was getting little sort of challenges in. And it was his block that stopped Akpong from actually putting Ipswich 2-1 up and winning the game, where it looked like it had beaten Solarczyk, and it was Nelson again who got that block and it went out for a corner. So I'm going to give it to Ben Nelson.
Brilliant. It's been great. Thank you. That was all. Thanks to McDonald's.